Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Wraps Baseball's live commentary of a Major League Baseball game. Today featuring the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago Cubs. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with Major League Baseball, MLB, or their sponsors. We're providing live reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking audiences can enjoy the game on YouTube as well as Twitch along with us. We'll be back in just a couple moments with today's starting lineups after these messages.
Are you into digital cards? Last Wraps Baseball has you covered as we do daily Top Spun Digital 21 card breaks. This new wave of collecting allows baseball fans to collect digital cards and compete against each other for prizes. Check out our daily breaks and send us a trade to Last Wraps. Be sure to tell your friends. Would you like to support Last Wraps Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Wraps Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everybody, and now the starting lineups for the visitors, the San Francisco Giants. Leading off and playing second base wearing number 18 is Tommy La Stella. Batting second, the first baseman wearing number 9 is Brandon Belt. Batting third and doing the catching wearing number 28 is Buster Posey. In the cleanup spot and playing in right field wearing number 31 is Lamont Wade Jr. Batting fifth in left field wearing number 23 is Chris Bryant. Batting sixth and playing shortstop wearing number 35 is Brandon Crawford. Batting seventh and playing third base wearing number 10 is Evan Longoria. Batting eighth is the center fielder wearing number 5, Mike Yastrzemski. And batting ninth and doing the pitching, wearing number 34, Kevin Gossman. And they're going to face the right-hander Zach Davies for the Chicago Cubs. Davies takes to the hill today with a 6-10 record and a 5.16 earned run average. And now the starting lineup for the home team from Chicago. The Northsiders from Chicago will send out today pretty much the same lineup as yesterday. There's one change to the position players, and that would be at second base. And so leading off and playing center field wearing number 66 is Rafael Ortega. Batting second and playing first base wearing number 18 is Frank Schwindel. Batting third and playing in left field wearing number 8 is Ian Happ. In the cleanup spot doing the catching wearing number 40 is Wilson Contreras. Batting fifth and playing third base wearing number 16 is Patrick Wisdom. Batting sixth and in right field wearing number 22 is Jason Hayward. Batting seventh at second base is Matt Duffy. Batting eighth and playing shortstop today is wearing number 51 is Sergio Alcantara. And batting ninth and doing the pitching wearing number 27 is Zach Davies. And they are going to face the right-handed slants of Kevin Gossman. Gossman takes to the hill today with a 13-5 record and a 2.58 earned run average. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. The first pitch is slated for 11:20. We're glad you've stopped in to listen to Last Wraps Baseball's live commentary. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Thanks for being with us. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher, friend of our channel. And be sure after our game is done, check out his YouTube channel. The game is finished.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day. And there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos. We have Star Wars. We have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. Welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready for game 2 of this 3-game set between the Chicago Cubs and San Francisco Giants. Yesterday's action, it was a game that started off fairly even through the first 6 innings, and then the San Francisco Giants blew it apart in their part of the 7th inning with a pair of 2-run homers. Evan Longoria homered, as did Brandon Belt for the Giants, and that ended up extending the lead to 5-1. They tacked one more on in the 8th inning, and the final was 6-1 for the Giants. Yesterday, the Chicago Cubs, they only had 2 hits, and Frank Schwindel, the first baseman yesterday, had both of them for the Cubs. So today they've hinged their hopes on Zach Davies out of the Cubs to take to the hill against the Giants today to hopefully be able to stem the flow. The Giants, of course, counter with a pitcher who was an offseason acquisition in Kevin Gausman, who is pretty much turning into an ace of the staff. His record on this season is 13-5, and he is going to be going head-to-head today against Davies. So we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Stick around, everybody. We're glad you've tuned in. Whether you're live or on delay, thank you for being here. Hold tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. The Chicago Cubs are on the field, and Zach Davies is completing his warm-up tosses. We're ready to get this one underway. We have Tommy LaStella, Brandon Belt, and Buster Posey to get things going for the Giants in their half of the first inning. It's another beautiful day at Wrigley Field for baseball. The September 11th ceremonies were taking place before the game. They had some extended ceremonies, and today the umpires working today's game behind the plate is going to be Carlos Torres. At first base will be Lance Barrett. Alfonso Marquez will be the umpire at second base, and Ryan Addition is going to be at third base today. It's 73 degrees and sunny. The wind is at 9 miles per hour, and it's blowing out to a straightaway center field. We're ready to get this one underway. Davies has the ball, and he has been ordered to play, and we're ready to get this one going. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. For Tommy LaStella, he's hitting .231 on the season. He's got 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Davies, and again, it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. Davies, very similar to the right-hander that we saw yesterday in Kyle Hendricks, not a power arm. He is more of a location-type pitcher. Mayweather K7 is in the house today. Welcome. We appreciate you being here and listening in. And there's a fastball from Davies. It swung on and fouled away. Over the third base side, the count is 2 balls and a strike. Mayweather is giving his thoughts here, and I would probably say that you're not that far off. Here comes the pitch from Davies. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. Certainly Davies has had his struggles this year. He's got a fluffed up ERA, and some of that has to do with the fact that he's pitching in a hitter's park. And here comes the pitch. Davies, and that is swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back to work as Davies goes into the motion. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So on one of the foul balls, a fan made a pretty nice snag, and then he dropped it on the transfer. Here's the 3-2 pitch to LaStella swung on, it's lifted into center field. Ortega battling the sun, moving to his left. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire LaStella for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Brandon Belt. For Belt on the season, he's hitting .255. He's got 22 homers and 45 runs batted in. Belt, who yesterday had himself quite the ball game. He was on base all but one time. He had a double, a home run, a couple of walks. So here's Davies back to work. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Davies has been sitting on 87 miles an hour. He can dial it up a little bit. That is not his strength as a power arm fastball. He's going to have good location. He's almost a step down from Hendricks, who has outstanding location, who threw yesterday. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-1. Davies has got himself into trouble this year by delivering too many base on balls. And here's the pitch to Belt. It's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 2-1. When you don't throw particularly hard, you better be able to locate your pitches. This year he's walked 67 batters in the 139 2/3 innings, and there's a sinker swung on and missed. And the count is now 2-2 to Belt. Best year of Davies' career came in 2017 when he led the National League in games started with 33. He was 17-9 with the Milwaukee Brewers. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. And the count remains 2-2. He was a career 43-32 with the Milwaukee Brewers. Here's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right field. It's into the corner, and Belt is going to be digging for two. Hayward goes into the corner to get it. He fields it. He pulls it out, and Belt has got himself a one-out double here in the first inning. That's going to bring up the catcher, Buster Posey. He pitched to Belt. Was absolutely scorched. A good swing right into the right field corner. As we said, Hayward had to go in and dig it out. So Posey now steps to the plate. He's batting .300 on the season with 17 homers and 45 runs batted in. Davies comes set at the Belt. He checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses off the plate. And the count is 1-0. There's Lamario Owens in the house. I think we've seen him here before. Welcome, and thanks for coming into the stream. So 1 ball and no strikes to Posey. Davies again sets at the Belt. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on and fouled away on the first base side. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Posey. Lamont Wade Jr. is waiting his turn on deck. Mario Owens says the Yankees continue to make me mad as they are now on a 7-game losing streak. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1 to Posey. Yeah, the New York Yankees are a bit of a frustrating lot this season. Certainly their pitching has, in some cases, underachieved. When you think of Corey Kluber, who's missed most of the year with injury, and Jameson Taillon really started slowly. Here's a fastball delivered to Posey. This ball is swung on. It's lifted to straightaway center field. Moving back onto the warning track is Ortega. He leaps. He makes the catch in front of the ivy. And having to return back to second base is Brandon Belt, as he failed to tag on the play. That ball was absolutely scorched. It was hit right to the deepest part of the ballpark. Ortega makes a very nice play to get back on the ball to leap and make the catch. And that is going to retire Posey for the second out of the inning. So Ortega's busy in the first inning here. He's already got 2 outs. So 2 away, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Lamont Wade Jr. Mario Owens says, and Garrett Cole, who's had a bad year, got injured. Cole was actually having a good year. I would have said Garrett Cole would have been in the mix for the American League Cy Young with Robbie Ray. Now it's pretty much Robbie Ray's to lose from now till the end of the year. He's going to have to finish this out. So here comes the pitch to Lamont Wade Jr. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The only change in the Cubs lineup from yesterday is Matt Duffy is getting the start at second base. David Bote is getting the day off. There's the pitch from Davies, and it's a sinker that misses low and away. The count goes even to 1-1. For Lamont Wade Jr., he's batting .261 on the season. He's got 17 homers and 46 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Davies, and that is a changeup swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field. Moving over toward the foul line is Jason Hayward. He's going to make the catch and put it away. And that is going to retire the Giants for their half of the first inning. So for the Giants, they had no runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning in Chicago. It's the San Francisco Giants, nothing. The Chicago Cubs coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the first inning, and we'll carry on with our friend Lamario Owens, who wants to talk Yankees today. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Here's our friend Steve again.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We are going to the bottom of the first inning. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Chicago Cubs. That means Rafael Ortega, Frank Schwindel, and Ian Happ will get things going for the Cubs here in their half of the first inning. And Ortega will lead it off today. He's hitting .283 on the season. He's got 10 homers and 31 runs batted in. Facing the big right-hander Kevin Gausman. Gausman, in his first season with the Giants, he has bounced around a little bit in his big league career. This is the first time he was an all-star. Gausman began his big league career with the Orioles. Moved on to Atlanta, and then, of course, he's been with Cincinnati and now the San Francisco Giants. He's really blossomed this year, posting career numbers in many categories. This is his 29th start of the season. He's only twice been able to start more games than that. There's a fastball delivered to Ortega, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Ortega had a rough day yesterday as he struck out his first 3 times to the plate. There is a changeup swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Gausman ready to go back to work. They are playing Ortega to the right side of the infield. They've got 3 fielders set up against him. So they are in the shift. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Ortega. And there's a fastball swung on its dribble to the shortstop side. It is fielded by Brandon Crawford. He throws off his back, and it's not even going to be close to get Ortega. That's going to get out as an infield hit. Crawford made a heck of a play moving to his left to get to the ball, and then he rolled over and looked like he was throwing a grenade to first base. But Ortega is going to get himself aboard with a leadoff single, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Frank Schwindel. Fantastic play just to get to the ball by Crawford, and then he threw from his back as he rolled over, and it was a great attempt. That's not going to get things going well for the Giants defensively here. So now they've got a runner on first. And Schwindel is now coming up to the plate. Schwindel yesterday had the only hits for the Cubs. He had both of their hits, and he takes a fastball low and away for ball one, 1-0. On the season, Schwindel is batting .333. He's got 12 homers and 34 runs batted in. He's getting an opportunity for the first time in his career to get some regular playing time at the big league level. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and he'll probably see that right up until the end of the year. Mario Owens is talking about the Florida Gators against the South Florida Bulls in their college football game. I haven't really tuned into any college football today. Usually don't get excited about college football until once we get through the middle of October. He starts to separate the wheat from the chaff, and throwing over to first base is Gausman, and diving back in time is the base runner, Ortega. So 1 ball and no strikes to Schwindel. Gausman ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, Posey. He comes set at the chest. He kicks and delivers, and there is a changeup that misses down. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Schwindel. Gausman gets the sign again from his catcher, Posey. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. A lot of movement on Gausman's pitches. He's got a lot of late life. On the season, Gausman is 5th in all of Major League Baseball in ERA. It's Scherzer, Buehler, Burns, and Woodruff. So 2 Dodgers, 2 Brewers, and then Kevin Gausman. Some of the best ERA in all of the big leagues, but he's got some nasty stuff. He's got a lot of late life on his pitches. He's got a lot of movement, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven to deep left field. It's going to get over the head of Chris Bryant. It's off the ivy. Digging for third is Ortega. They're going to wheel him home, and now they've thrown on the brakes. And that's probably a good decision, as Ortega's been held up at third, and Frank Schwindel continues his hot hitting. He's got himself a double here in the first inning. And the Cubs got something brewing. They've got runners on second and third with nobody out here to start the ball game. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Ian Happ. That ball was absolutely scorched. Bryant leapt up to try to make the grab, and it was probably a good 2-3 inches over his glove. And the ball skipped up against the wall and off the ivy, and then he had to go back and retrieve it. We're wheeling Ortega around, but a good relay throw from Brandon Crawford right to the plate would have had him a dead duck. And there's a first pitch fastball swung on and missed, and Happ loses his bat. It gets all the way over to the San Francisco dugout. So no ball and 1 strike to Happ. Released, it went in the air all the way over the dugout, actually hit the netting and then came back and landed in front. So now he's going to take a moment to go get some pine tar and rub up the bat a little bit here. So Ian Happ Gets himself dug in. There's no balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch from Gossman. There's a fastball, and that is fouled away, and the count is 0-2. So Mayweather K7 asks a very good question. Does late life have to do with the spin rate? As far as I'm concerned, it does. The more that you can spin the ball, it is going to be able to create more movement on the ball. And that's going to be able to give you that late life. So, for example, if you're throwing a 2-seam fastball, here's the pitch from Gossman. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and Happ is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So, for example, if you're throwing a 2-seam fastball and you can really spin that ball out of your hand, it's going to help improve the movement on that pitch. The 2-seamer usually will move to the arm side. So if you're a right-handed thrower, that means it's going from left to right. If you're throwing the sinker, you're just going to move your fingers off. It's a cousin to this 2-seam. You're just going to move your fingers off of the seams, but you're going to push down with your pointy finger into the seam as you're releasing. That's going to cause the ball not just to run to the arm side, but also to dip. So some guys can naturally really spin the ball out of their hands. There's some others who don't have the ability to do it. There's a first pitch fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Major League Baseball, and I can't remember exactly the year where they went to the low seam baseballs. There used to be, if you ever get a Major League ball, the seams on the balls are very low. When you get into amateur baseball, you have all kinds of different types of seams. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Contreras. There used to be a company approximately 30 years ago called Diamond. They used to produce baseballs, and one of the features to their baseballs, they had high seams. So high seams would be great for extra movement on the ball and be able to get breaking balls. The drawback to that is that you can also blister up a little bit easier on the high seams. There's a fastball swung on. This is driven through the 4-hole into right field. It's going to get 1 run in. Wade Jr. picks it up and fires it back in, but Schwindel is going to stop at third. So now we've got runners on the corners, and the Cubs have got to run across the board on the RBI single by Wilson Contreras. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Patrick Wisdom. So Contreras hit a bullet right through that 4-hole. He had the second baseman in, and it just rocketed right on through, right past them. They had no chance. In fact, the whole defense was in. And that ended up getting through. I'm a little surprised that they would have played the defense in here in the first inning. The Chicago Cubs have certainly not been an offensive power this season. And the San Francisco Giants can put runs up on the board in a hurry, especially in this ballpark. So here comes the first pitch to Wisdom. It is a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. So we were talking the question about, the spin rate on the baseball and different things, but we're also talking about some of the seams in the product. So the seams of the baseballs, you'll hear sometimes, will cause blisters on the fingers of the pitchers. I think of Aaron Sanchez with the Giants, who has had issues when he was with Toronto. Of course, that was also the fingernail. There's a tapper back to the mound. It's fielded by Gossman. He throws it over to the second baseman covering, which is Stella. They throw over to first, and it's going to be a double play, and Wisdom has bounced into a 1-4-3 double play here to end the inning. So for the Cubs, in their half of the first inning, they had 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors. There was 1 runner left aboard. We are through 1 complete at Wrigley Field. It is the Chicago Cubs 1, the San Francisco Giants nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the top of the second inning. Here's our friend Matt. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. This is Matt Hollis, YouTube regular.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's another Hollis build. That would be Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. Matt's got all kinds of crazy stuff. He's got his baseball memorabilia and things. He does like his garbage pail kids, but most importantly, he is a San Diego native who's got all kinds of barnyard animals around his property. He likes to share them with you as well, but I don't think they open any packs. So that's Matt Hollis, another Hollis build. For the San Francisco Giants, in their half of the second inning, they'll be sending up Chris Bryant, Brandon Crawford, and Evan Longoria. They'll be facing Zach Davies in his second inning of work. The Cubs grabbed a 1-0 lead in their half of the first inning on a single by Rafael Ortega, a double by Frank Schwindel, and a RBI single by Wilson Contreras. Of course, the inning was snuffed out by Patrick Wisdom grounding himself into a double play to end the inning. So Bryant, again, on back-to-back days, is getting a rousing standing ovation from the Wrigley faithful, obviously remembering him from not just his time as a Cub, but also his contributions in breaking the curse of the World Series, being a part of that team. So Bryant stands in, and here's the first pitch from Davies. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Bryant on the season is hitting .265 with 24 homers and 65 runs batted in. There's a changeup that misses down and in, and the count is 1-1. Right-hander against the right-hander. Davies goes into the motion and he delivers. There is a fastball swung on, and that's fouled off on the third base side. The count goes now to 1-2. Davies hasn't really touched anything more than grounded over to third. A nice play by Wisdom, who throws off balance off of one leg across the diamond, and they retire Bryant by a half a step. Patrick Wisdom played some very solid third base yesterday in the ball game, and he makes a great play. He has to go to his backhand side. He's one step over the foul line, throws off of one leg, and is able to retire Bryant by a half a step. That's a real good baseball play right there. And so that is the first out of the second inning, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Crawford on the season hitting .295 with 20 homers and 80 runs batted in. And he takes a first pitch down from Davies, and the count is 1-0. There's been a lot of talk about MVPs around the league. Who should be the MVP, especially in the National League? The National League is pretty much up for grabs. There's a fastball that misses inside, but I don't know if anybody outside of the Bay Area is really talking about Brandon Crawford as a potential MVP for shortstop, batting, flirting with the 300 mark. He's got 20 homers and 80 runs batted in. If he could get maybe another 5 more homers and drive in 20 in this last 3 weeks of the season, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now is 3-0 to Crawford. He should certainly be considered or be in the mix for this. Other candidates are Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves. We've talked about Max Muncy. Of course, Fernando Tatis would have been the runaway favorite, and there's a fastball that misses up and in, and so on 4 straight pitches, Brandon Crawford is aboard with a walk. Crawford's aboard with a base on balls. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Evan Longoria. So as we're saying, when you start thinking about who the MVP candidates are, Bryce Harper's name has started to come into the mix lately for the Phillies. Freddie Freeman down in Atlanta. So a lot of different players are being considered. But we'd have to think Crawford, especially playing shortstop, has to be also mentioned in that mix. There's a fastball. This is inside the Longoria, and the count's 1-0. That might have been the fastest pitch we've seen Davies throw all day today. That was 89 miles an hour. But he's now thrown 5 consecutive balls in a row. He checks the runner Crawford at first. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is driven foul down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is going to be 1-1 to Longoria. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Longoria digs in. He's got a slightly open stance. Davies is getting the sign from his catcher, Contreras. He's ready to go back to work. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving over on it is the left fielder, Happ. He slides. It's off his glove. That ball is going to get down. It's going to be extra bases. And cruising into second base is Evan Longoria with a double. And Brandon Crawford is going to go to third, and that is going to put 2 runners into scoring position, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski. Let's see how they're going to have to rule that. I think that's going to be a double. It did go off of Happ's glove. He was sliding to try to make the play. We'll see what the official scorer comes up with. I'm pretty sure they're going to rule that as a double, and that's exactly what they ruled it as. It is a double. Certainly was not a play with ordinary effort. So Mike Yastrzemski comes to the plate. He's hitting .222 on the season with 22 homers and 55 runs batted in. Davies from the stretch. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Davies ready to go back to work. Davies' ability to locate his pitches has been a bit of a challenge today so far. And here's the pitch to Yastrzemski, and that is a changeup down. And the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. They do have an open base at first base. Davies has thrown 34 pitches today, and that's the 34th one there. There's a changeup down in the dirt, and the count is now 3-0. He's thrown 17 strikes. And now the acting manager, Andy Green, just holds up the 4 fingers, and they're going to intentionally walk Yastrzemski, put him on. That is going to bring up the pitcher, Kevin Gausman. So the bases are full of Giants right now, and the pitcher, Gausman, steps to the plate. Gausman, for his career, is a 109 hitter. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. On the season this year, he's batting .200. All of his RBIs have come this season. So Davies having challenges throwing strikes. Ready to go back to work. And the first pitch is a fastball that looked like a cross-up pitch with Contreras. Contreras was setting up inside. I don't think he expected that pitch to happen. Here he comes, and the ball had a lot of backdoor run to it. And he gives Davies a solid stare down. That's 1 ball and no strikes. So nowhere to put the pitcher, Gausman, here. Here comes the pitch from Davies. It's a fastball right down the middle, and the count is 1-1. I would be thinking that Gausman would have been taking all the way on that pitch until he gets a strike here. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Gausman stands in. And here comes the pitch. It is a changeup, swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2 to Gausman. This is the beauty of National League Baseball, where the pitchers get to hit. It really is, in my opinion, a much purer game. Even though I grew up an American League fan, you get to appreciate it when the National League pitchers have to hit. And so 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's also more strategy in the game in the National League of how you and when you substitute your players and using double switches. You've got to be on top of the game. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that is a changeup, swung on and missed, and Gosman is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the second baseman, Tommy La Stella. La Stella comes to the plate today. He is 0 for 1. He's entered the game today hitting .231 with 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. He is 0 for 6 in this series. He failed to get on base yesterday. So La Stella batting from the left side. The bases are loaded. The Cubs are in a shift. They've got 3 fielders to the right side of the infield, and the first pitch to La Stella is a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0. One would think that the Cubs bullpen is going to be on high alert today, as Davies is really struggling to locate his pitches. Here comes the 1-0 to La Stella. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. There's nowhere to put La Stella. The bases are loaded. The runner at third is Crawford. The runner at second, Longoria. The runner at first is Yastrzemski. The bases are juiced. So La Stella is going to get a pretty good pitch to hit, one would think, but Davies has got to find a way to throw a strike. Comes the 2-0 pitch, and that is a fastball, and that misses up and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Davies is absolutely struggling here to find a location. Here comes the pitch to La Stella. There's a fastball right down the middle taken for a called strike. And if I'm La Stella, I might consider taking another pitch again. So 3-1 to Tommy La Stella. Davies comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's foul over the third base side, and the count now goes to 3-2. With 2 out, the runners are going to be off to the races now. La Stella gets himself set and dug in. Davies gets ready to go back to work. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is 2 away. The bases are loaded. As soon as La Stella delivers, be off to the races, ready to go here. Davies holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers, and that is a fastball swung on. It is ripped into the first base dugout, and diving out of the way are the Giant players. Ball was absolutely scorched. A couple of the Giant players were in the dugout. Ball can get in there, and the worst part is sometimes is when the ball gets into the dugout, going in is one thing, ricocheting off of the wall of the back side of the dugout is another thing. So if it doesn't get you the first time, it might get you on the rebound. So here's the 3-2 again, and it's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into right center field. It's going to get down. Hayward picks it up. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in, and that is going to be a 2-run single for La Stella here in the second inning. Stopping at third is going to be Yastrzemski. So Crawford has scored. Longoria has scored. Now that is going to bring up the first baseman, Brandon Belt. So Tommy La Stella, it was good timing for him to get his first hit of the series, and he knocks in a pair of runs with that line drive into right center field. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Brandon Belt. Belt today doubled in his first at bat. Yesterday he was on base 4 out of 5 times. He homered and doubled and walked a couple of times. And today he has doubled in his only at bat. Yeah, a little delay in the action here as the pitching coach has come out and had a word with the starter Davies. So we're ready to resume the action. Belt gets himself dug in at the plate, and Davies comes set. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. The way that Brandon Belt has been swinging the bat in this series, it is very, very dangerous. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Belt. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely pounded, but it is going to hook foul. It's going to leave the stadium. It's going to get out onto the street. Knock that one right out of the ballpark. The count now is 0-2 to Brandon Belt. So no balls and 2 strikes. The runner at third is Yastrzemski. The runner at first is LaStella. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Belt. Davies holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers, and it is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Belt gets himself dug in again. Davies ready to go back to work. This is going to be the 49th pitch of the ball game. Davies holds set. He kicks and delivers. There is a changeup swung on. It is lifted into deep center field. Moving back on the warning track is Ortega. He's going to look up, and it is gone. A 2-run homer by Brandon Belt. Sorry, a 3-run homer by Brandon Belt is going to blow this game apart here in the early goings of the second inning. And LaStella will cross the plate. Yastrzemski is going to cross the plate. And Brandon Belt picks himself 3 RBIs. He picks up where he left off yesterday with a double and home run in his first 2 at-bats today, and he had a double and a home run yesterday with a couple of walks. So 5-1 is the scoreline now here for the Giants. The Giants are instant offense. So Zach Davies is going to have to eat up some innings here. This is a very, very solid Giant ball club. And here comes Buster Posey to the plate. He takes a breaking ball outside for ball 1. The count is 1-0. It's a lot of depth in this lineup. Our friend Mayweather K7, who's been in here listening or in and out listening, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. He came in and announced early in the ball game that he was predicting what the runs were going to be, and he figured in the Giants were going to be over the 6.5 run total, and I think he's absolutely correct. He might get that in this inning. There is a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Posey. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Davies back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses low and away. The count is now 3-1. Davies ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a changeup down and away, and that is ball 4. And Buster Posey is aboard with a walk here. So a 2-out walk, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Lamont Wade Jr. So the Cubs are probably going to have to go to the bullpen early in this one today. Lamont Wade Jr. steps in. He's 0 for 1 today. He flew out to right field his first time up. This This is the ninth hitter in the batting order coming up for the Giants in their half of the second. Fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Yesterday, the Giants put up all their runs from the sixth inning and onward. Today, they're getting it out of the way early. They've got a pile of runs here in the second. It's 5-1 for San Francisco. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Wade Jr. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Davies ready to go back to work. He comes set at the belt, checks the runner at first, he kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. There's nothing worse when you see a pitcher really struggling to throw strikes. This is one of those situations there, and there's not a darn thing that you can do. You just have to keep battling and fighting. Here's the pitch, and it's a changeup swung on. It is popped up to the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the second baseman, Matt Duffy. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire the Giants in their half of the second inning. So for the Giants in their half of the inning, they got 5 runs on only 3 hits. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. It is the San Francisco Giants 5, the Chicago Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the second inning. We're glad you could stop in to listen with us. Here's our friend Steve again, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching The Last Raps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Raps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Thanks again, Steve. That is Steve Rademacher. Whether it's Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, or No Filter Friday, Steve has always got a lot of entertaining things. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. We'll be right back after these tunes with the call at the bottom of the second inning. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Cubs. It'll be Jason Hayward, Matt Duffy, and Sergio Alcantara. They're going to get things going for the Cubs in their half of the second inning. It was a 5-run uprising in the top of the second by the Giants as they batted around. And they knocked around Zach Davies. So Hayward, Duffy, and Alcantara to get things going for the Cubs here in their half of the second inning. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball from Gausman that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. For Hayward on the season, he's hitting .212. He's got 8 homers and 30 runs batted in. He digs in from the left side. Gausman ready to go back to work, and there's a fastball that misses inside. And the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. For Gausman's counterpart, Davies, Davies, through 2 innings, has thrown 58 pitches. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. And only 30 of them for strikes, so he's marginally over 50%. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Hayward. Osmond kicks and delivers. There's a changeup swung on. It's grounded over the first baseman belt. He fields it. He flips it over to Kevin Gausman covering, and that is going to retire. Hayward for the first out of the inning. It goes down as a ground out, 3-1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that brings up the second baseman, Matt Duffy. Duffy on the season is hitting .264. He's got 3 homers and 20 RBIs. Duffy has played all over the infield. He began his big league career with the San Francisco Giants. Now he is back with the Cubs here in 2021. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Duffy. Duffy did not play in the 2020 season last year, opting out. And he is back playing again this year. And here is the 0-1 pitch. And there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. And the count is now 0-2 to Duffy. He has certainly been a survivor at the big league level. He's played parts of 7 seasons now at the big league level. But he's only just got over 5 years of service time. And there is a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Coming hard on it is the right fielder, Lamont Wade Jr., and he's going to make the catch on the run. That is going to retire Duffy. Nice defensive play by the right fielder, Wade Jr. There's 2 away. Dirtbag in the house today listening, and we appreciate you being here. He says Duffy was a great Giant. Yeah, Duffy was a very productive player for the Giants. There are some Giant and Cub connections in this game today, obviously, with Chris Bryant being one of them. And here's the pitch. It is a changeup taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Sergio Alcantara. Alcantara batting .200 on the season. He's got 3 homers and 10 RBIs. There is a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. There is a changeup swung on. It's grounded to the first base side, fielded by Belt in foul territory, and the count is 0-2. And there is a right-hander getting up and throwing in the Cubs bullpen, and it is Adbert Alzolay. He's throwing with some purpose and intent. So we'll see if they make the decision. If Alcantara gets on, obviously we will see the pinch hitter, but what if the Cubs would consider rolling Davies out for another inning? If they don't, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. The word I would use to describe that was overmatched. Alcantara was overmatched by Gausman. He is out for the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We'll see if Alzolay is coming in or if they're going to stay with Davies. Stick around, everybody. It is 5-1 after 2 complete in Chicago. Glad you could stop in today to listen in. We'll come on back in just a couple minutes. Call of all the action. Here's our friend Steve again.
Hello, and we'll be right back to Last Straps Baseball after this brief message from me, Steve Rademacher. Thank you all for watching my channel and supporting me. Thank you all for supporting Freddie and Last Straps Baseball. He does an awesome job commentating. And to show you some more stuff that you could see on my channel, we have shiny Pokemon cards. We have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Brett Favre. We have Bo Jackson playing baseball. That's right. That's his rookie card. Very nice. We even have gold. We have gold. We have wrestlers. That's Rowdy Piper. And yes, we even have Jason Stokes, and many ways to destroy you. So now, thank you again. Back to your regular program with your host, Last Reps Baseball.
That's Steve Rademacher, everybody. Be sure to check out his channel after the game, whether it's Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, or his Saturday morning cartoons. He's always got a lot of entertaining things. We'll be back after these tunes with the call of the top of the third inning. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change for the Chicago Cubs. It is going to be Adbert Alzolay coming in to relieve Zach Davies. Alzolay is in his third season with the Cubs at the big league level. He's seen action the last couple of years. He's had 21 starts this year. He's appeared in 23 games. He's got a 5-13 record. He does have one save. He's had 112 innings pitched. He's allowed 98 hits. He's walked 32, and he has struck out 114. So he is going to take over here today. David Bote is also in the ball game, and we're going to see where he has made his replacement. So we've got some changes here. Bote is going to replace Davies in the batting order, and Alzolay replaces Alcantara. Duffy is going to move from second base to short, and there's the first pitch to Chris Bryant, and it's taken for a ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes. And so they have the double switch, and here's the pitch from Alzolay, and it's a fastball that misses low. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Alzolay kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is driven into the right field corner, and it is just going to go foul. There's not a lot of real estate in the right field corner between the foul line and the stands. And that ball was able to find the foul territory part. And it is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryant. So not much of a day off for Bote, who got the start yesterday, who's now back into the ball game today. And there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded deep into the hole at short, and it is thrown to first. It is up the line, but there's no way that they were going to get Chris Bryant. Nice play by Duffy to get to the ball. He had to throw off one laid backhanded. It was past the diving third baseman Wisdom. So Bryant is aboard with a base hit here in the third inning. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. For Crawford today, he is officially 0 for 0. He walked his first time up and came around and scored a run. He scored on the RBI single by Tommy LaStella back in the second inning. And here's the pitch from Alzolay, and there is a changeup down, but Brandon Crawford couldn't hold up his swing, and the count is 0-1. So Bryant's the runner on first. Crawford at the plate. Alzolay ready to go back to work in relief of Davies. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field for a base hit. It's going to get down in front of Jason Hayward, and the Giants continue the hit parade today as they have 2 runners aboard, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Evan Longoria. Longoria doubled his first time up and later scored a run on the RBI single that Tommy LaStella had. So Longoria steps in with runners on first and second. Alzolay comes set of the belt. Checks the runner at second. He kicks. Longoria has been productive this year for the Giants. He's hitting .291 on the season. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is now 1-1 strike. So 1-1 strike. Runner at second is Bryant. The runner at first is Crawford. And Alzolay kicks and delivers, and he misses with a ball. And the count is now 2-1. So 2-1 strike to Longoria. It's going to be a tough afternoon for the Cubs if they can't get ahead in the count and throw strikes. We need strength throwers. We need to be able to fill up that zone. And here's the pitch from Alzolay. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away right at home plate. The count now goes to 2-2 to Longoria. So 2 strikes. Alzolay ready to get back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher Contreras. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on, and it's grounded into left center field past the shortstop, Duffy. The ball is fielded by the left fielder, Happy gets it in, and that is going to move Crawford all the way around to third. Longoria's got himself a base hit here. So that's 3 consecutive hits here to start the third inning. Crawford goes all the way around to third. Bryant has scored. And the Cubs have extended their lead to 6-1 over the Cubs here in the third inning. Ball was struck and it almost hit Chris Bryant going from second to third. He had to hold up and avoid it. The ball got past the left side of Matt Duffy and into left center field. So with runners on the corners, that brings up the center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski was intentionally walked his first time up after seeing 3 balls. They held up the 4 fingers and put him on, and the first pitch he sees is a fastball fouled away on the third base side, and the count is 0-1. Yastrzemski's got 22 homers to go with 55 runs batted in this year. His batting average is down from years past. And here's the pitch from Alzolay. It's a fastball at 95 miles an hour taken for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Yastrzemski is a career .256 hitter. He had .297 last year, and he had .272 the year before, but this year he's well off of that mark. But he does have career highs in home runs, and he's tied his career high in RBIs. And there is a breaking ball down, and the count is now 2-1 strike. Sure, at what point that Andy Green is going to have to bite the bullet with one of his arms. So 2-1 strike, meaning that he's going to have to let somebody go a good distance here and eat up some innings. And there is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 strikes. Alzolay goes back to work. They've got the shift on here. They've got 3 fielders to the right side of the infield. Brandon Crawford's got an absolutely humongous lead at third base. And here is the pitch. It is a fastball, and that misses up and in, and the count is now full. When I see this configuration where they've got Wisdom over at shortstop, like there's no way Crawford could basically get halfway down the line and not be in any trouble. You got to think if anybody's got some wheels here. As we see, he's really, really down the line. Anybody with any type of wheels is going to be able to take off and go. And there's a pop-up. Fouled straight back. Contreras all the way to the netting, and it's going to end up in the front row. And a fellow with a Hawaiian shirt is going to come away with that ball. There's not going to be too many days left in the Windy City to wear those shirts. It's a beautiful day. He's got, see, it's a Hawaiian shirt. He's got hot dogs all over his shirt. He's getting an ovation from the crowd. Small things at Wrigley Field that have to keep the fans entertained. And here is a pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And Dirtbag says it was a Sandlot shirt. I assume that's from that movie, The Sandlot. I've only seen highlights. I've never actually seen the movie in its fullest, only highlighted clips. But he got himself a good ovation from the crowd. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yastrzemski. The runners are Crawford at third and Longoria at first. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball, waved at and missed. And Longoria is down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the pitcher, Kevin Gausman. Gausman today is 0 for 1. He struck out in his only time up to the plate. It's going to be a tough afternoon for the Cubs if they can't find a way to be able to fill up the strike zone. And Gausman squares the bunt. He drops it down, and it's fouled off over by the Toyota sign behind home plate, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Not sure where the Cubs offense is going to come today. As we said, the Giants from top to bottom, the 8 positional players in the batting order are very dangerous. And here we go again. It is squared on. It is dropped down. Alzolay picks it up. He fires the first. Crawford's now trying to come home and score. Here's the throw back to the plate, and they've nailed him. And so it's going to go down as a attempted sacrifice. We're going to see how they're going to score that. It is out 1-3 for the second out of the inning. And then it is going to be 3-2 to get rid of Crawford to end the inning. So the Giants have run themselves out of the inning here in the third inning. They had 1 run in the inning on 3 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 2.5 innings. It is the San Francisco Giants 6, the Chicago Cubs 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the third inning when we return in just a moment. Here is our friend Matt. Check out his channel after the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Thanks again to Matt Hollis, friend of our channel, and in turn, we are a friend of his. We'll be back in just a moment after these tunes with the call at the bottom of the third inning. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the third inning. It is going to be David Bodie to lead it off, followed by Rafael Ortega and Frank Schwindel. This is going to be the 9-1-2 spots in the batting order. It was a very interesting ending to the last inning as the Giants ran themselves out of the inning. But you can do that when you're and be aggressive when you're up by a bunch of runs. I would think that I watched the replay, and Brandon Crawford, if he doesn't hesitate once Alzolay had fielded the ball, if he just sort of kept his momentum going, he always was flat-footed. And he probably would have been able to have scored that run. So Alzolay was able to wiggle himself out of the inning with some help from the San Francisco Giants base runners. So it'll be David Bodie, Rafael Ortega, and Frank Schwindel to get things going here in the fourth. Bodie on the season is batting a .195. He's got 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. From Gusman, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Bodie is got the start yesterday at second base. He's getting the day off today as Matt Duffy got the start. He's in his 4th season with the Chicago Cubs. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball down, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch to Bodie. It's a changeup swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. Just making our notes here as the score book is starting to look a little bit crazy. As we've got some changes and some double switches. They're playing Bodie straight away, are the Giants, although they do have the first baseman belt well off the bag at first base. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is a changeup down in the dirt. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to be back on the air again tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to be calling the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. So if you get a chance, come on in and check it out. It'll be the Tigers and the Rays tomorrow. Tonight we resume our coverage of the Nippon Professional Baseball League, and there's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. Counts now 3-2 to Bodie. It'll be the Oryx Buffaloes and the Saitama Cebu Lions from the MetLife Dome. It'll be the third game of that set. Each team has won one. Last night it was the Saitama Cebu Lions knocking off the Oryx Buffaloes. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called third strike. Bodie started to walk toward first base. He's not happy with it, and he's letting the home plate umpire know as he's walking back toward the dugout. And when we take a look at that on the replay again, it looked like it was a decent enough pitch. It was too close to take. If you believe the K-zone would have caught it. Bodie is retired for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring the top of the order, Rafael Ortega, to the plate. Ortega began the game with a single today, and he later came around and scored a run. So he is 1 for 1 today. Here's the pitch from Gaussman, and it's a changeup that misses outside. The count is 0-1 or 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Matt Hollis dropping in to say hello. And before he gets on to Mexico, and there is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-1. Oh, we appreciate you being here, Matt, and checking in. We have run your stuff earlier, friend of our channel, Matt Hollis. We do appreciate you stopping around. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's a changeup that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-1 to Ortega. It's a beautiful day for baseball in Chicago, but then one could say it's always a beautiful day for baseball. It's 73 degrees in the Windy City. The wind is blowing out at 9 miles an hour to straightaway center field, and there's a changeup that misses outside. The count is now 3-1 to Ortega. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Gausman gets the sign from his catcher, Posey, goes back to work, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now is full to Ortega. The difference between the shifts that are employed by the Cubs and the Giants, Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, is on the left side of the infield. When the Cubs do their shift, they keep their third baseman on the left side, and they move their shortstop to the right side. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted down the line in left field. Moving over is going to be Chris Bryant. He's going to make the catch. That is going to retire Ortega for the second out of the inning. 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Frank Schwindel. Schwindel yesterday had himself a heck of a ball game. He was the only one offensively who was doing anything for the Cubs. He was 2 for 3 and a walk. Both of their hits, and today he has a double to his stat line. He had a double in the first inning. Eventually was stranded at third, and there's a first pitch changeup that he swings on and misses, and the count is 0-1. Schwindel bats from the right side, so we have right-hander against the right-hander. Gausman gets the sign from his catcher, Posey, and he's ready to go back to work. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the third base side. And the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Gausman ready to go back to work. Kicks and delivers, and there is a change up down, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gausman in this inning has been working from the stretch position with nobody on base. Gets the sign from his catcher, Posey. He really likes to chew the bubble gum. Gausman really is chomping hard, and there is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 2-2. He's really giving that gum a workout. That last pitch was actually, we thought it was a breaking ball the way it was moving, but it was actually a split finger pitch. But he holds the split finger a little bit differently than witnessed before. And there is again, that's the same pitch, a split finger pitch that misses down and away. It's now 3-2. Some pitchers will throw the split, and they will throw their fingers across the 2 middle seams, or as if it was a 2-seam fastball, move their fingers apart off of the seams. He sort of straddles one seam and really splits his finger apart. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded through the 6 hole into left field. Frank Schwindel continues his hot hitting for the Cubs. He's got himself a base hit here with 2 out in the 3rd inning. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Ian Happ. Schwindel now has 4 hits in the last 2 games, and he's also got a walk. He is living on base paths. So Schwindel's aboard with a single. That brings up the left fielder, Ian Happ. Happ today is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And here's the first pitch from Gausman. It's a changeup that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Gausman's got all kinds of stuff off of his pitch when he delivers it. It's all over the map. All kinds of run and movement and Ball's doing all kinds of things. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the third base line. And Evan Longoria has room, but that ball is going to bounce. That was a very difficult play. I have to see where the shortstop Crawford is positioned in this situation. Normally speaking, that might be an easier play for the shortstop to have to go out and to get it. Where Longoria is, he's got to reach over his shoulder. And yeah, you can see that the shortstop Crawford is over on the right side of second base. If it was in normal position, that's probably the play the shortstop is going to be able to make. Of course, in the Windy City, the wind is blowing around all over the place. So 1-1, and here's a changeup that misses outside. The count is now 2-1 to Happ. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Gausman ready to go back to work. Happ is hitting from the left side. Gausman kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Moving back and now backpedaling and now going off on the run, and it's going to bounce, and it's over the head of the center fielder, Yastrzemski. The ball's going to get down. It's going to be off the wall. Digging for third is Happ. And so Yastrzemski completely misplayed that ball. The wind just kept taking it and blowing it and blowing it. And the ball gets over Yastrzemski's head. It bounces on the warning track and short hops the fence, or where the ivy is, or the wall in center field. Looked like he was camped out underneath it, and then he just started backpedaling, and then down it goes and hits the screen, and it's in the field of play. And so that ball bounces up. Unbelievable. So Ian Happ gets himself a Wrigley Field special triple. He also gets an RBI, and Schwindel comes all the way around to score, and they've cut into the lead 6-2. That's your home field advantage for you, everybody. And certainly San Francisco's used to playing with wind. Their park isn't exactly a quiet place. It's got a lot of wind down there in the Bay Area. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Wilson Contreras. Contreras has stepped out as he asks for time. Gausman, he felt, was taking too long. Contreras today is 1 for 1. He had an RBI back in the first inning. So the Cubs have cut the scoreline to 6-2. The runner at third is Happ. Contreras digs in at the plate. Gausman kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Patrick Wisdom will wait his turn on deck. So 1 ball and no strikes. Gausman comes set at the chest. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on, and it's tapped foul over on the third base side. And the count is 1-1. Contreras, the catcher for the Cubs, really wasn't on the same page with his starting pitcher today, Zach Davies. Crossed up a couple of times. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Gausman set at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. It's stopped by Crawford. I don't think he was going to have a play at Contreras at first base. The run is going to score. We're going to see how they're going to rule that, as Ian Happ comes across to make the score 6-3. I'll have to get an update. We'll see if the Cubs official score rules that a base hit or not. And they do. He didn't come up with the ball, did Crawford, but probably would have been considered to be a base hit anyways, because I don't think even if he comes up with the ball, I don't think there would have been a play at first base. We now have a visit from the pitching coach, and we're going to just pause here for a moment and recap some of the events here. So it is A one-run ball game in the first inning as the Cubs jumped out on the scoring, and then in the top of the second inning, the Giants stuck 5 on the board, including a 3-run homer by Brandon Belt. The Giants then tacked one on in the top of the third inning as Evan Longoria knocked home Chris Bryant, but now 3 hits in a row, including a wind-dated triple by Ian Happ, has put 2 more runs on the board for the Cubs, and they cut the lead in half to 6-3. So here's the pitch from Gausman. It's a fastball taken for a called strike by Wisdom. The count's 0-1. Wisdom today is 0 for 1. He grounded into a 1-4-3 double play his first time up. He's batting .236 on the season. He's got 25 homers and 50 runs batted in. He's very dangerous. He's averaging a homer every 11 or so at bats, and there is a swing at a fastball, and he tried to add another home run to his tally rate there, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Comes the 0-2 from Gausman. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Wisdom is retired on strikes for the third out of the inning. But for the Cubs in their half of the third, they got 2 runs on 3 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left on base. We're through 3 complete at Wrigley Field. It's the San Francisco Giants 6, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call. In just a couple moments, we're going to share with you some of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Be sure to check them out. Welcome back, everybody. It is 6-3 for the Giants over the Cubs. We're moving to the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the top of the 4th. We're glad you're with us. Hold tight. We'll be back in just a moment after these tunes. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 4th inning, and our friend Mayweather K7 is fist pumping as he's got the Cubs over 2.5 in the first half of this ball game, and he's absolutely correct. We're also in the San Francisco Giants have also pounded out their 6 runs, and I think you need 1 more for them to fist pump as well. They've been able to, they almost got that one in the 3rd inning as Brandon Crawford was thrown out at the plate to end the inning on a very unique double play on the 1-3-2 variety. And so Adbert Alzolay is going to return to the hill for to begin his 2nd inning of work. He is going to face the top of the batting order. It's going to be Tommy La Stella, Brandon Belt, and Buster Posey. La Stella today is 1 for 2. He knocked in a couple of runs in the 2nd inning. He's also flown to center field, and the first pitch from Alzolay is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. You can understand why the Cubs like Adbert Alzolay or would like to have him in the starter's role. He's got the electric fastball. He can run it up at 95, 6 miles an hour. There's a fastball at 94 that misses up and in. But what I will say is that I don't know if he's got the ability to repeat his pitches. So in other words, you see a lot of variance in his 4-seam fastball, or at least I am today. And I don't know if he's got the consistency. And here comes the pitch. It is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball swung on. Is lifted into left center field, moving over to his right. The center fielder Ortega, he's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire La Stella for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Brandon Belt. For Brandon Belt, he is loving his time in Chicago this weekend. He was 2 for 3 yesterday with a couple of walks. He doubled and homered in yesterday's game, and he's already doubled and homered in today's game. So here's the pitch from Alzolay. It is a changeup taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Brandon Belt is having a very, very solid season this year. And he's giving the Giants much needed production at first base. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Buster Posey is waiting his turn on deck. So the Cubs got a benefit in that last inning of some shoddy defense by the center fielder Mike Yastrzemski, who misplayed that fly ball. And there is a fastball that is taken for a called third strike, and Belt is down for out number 2 here in the 4th inning. Yastrzemski misplayed the ball, but it was a Wrigley Field special. The wind took it for a ride right over his head. So now that brings Buster Posey to the plate. Ended up cashing in a couple of runs there in that half inning. So Posey walked back in the 2nd inning. He is 0 for 1. He flew out in the 1st, and there is a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Posey will be followed by the right fielder Lamont Wade Jr. should he find a way on. And here comes the pitch from Alzolay. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Alzolay comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball swung on. It's driven into the ground over to the second baseman. It's fielded by Bote. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Posey. It goes as a ground out, 4-3. That's the first time today the Giants have gone down in order. In their half of the inning, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now going to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the San Francisco Giants 6, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call, the bottom of the 4th inning. Glad you could stop in and check it out today. We're glad you are here. Here's another Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memory. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment with the call. The bottom of the 4th inning. We're glad you could stop in and check this one out today. Here's another one of our segments. It's Did You Know? Featuring players from around Major League Baseball. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is going to be Jason Hayward, Matt Duffy, and the pitcher, Adbert Alzolay, scheduled to come to bat here in the 4th inning. We'll see if Alzolay gets his crack at the plate. And Hayward is going to get things going as he is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. Let's see if we can get some things going here. Kevin Gossman is returning to the bump for his 4th inning of work. It's not been an easy day at the office for Gosman. He's struggled a little bit with his location. I'd be surprised if he could get through the 6th inning. He's already thrown 54 pitches. And here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball taken by Jason Hayward for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Hayward, Duffy, and the pitcher's spot, which is now the 8th spot in the order. As the pitch from Gosman, it is a fastball swung on. It's grounded deep to the 4-hole. It's fielded by the second baseman, LaStella. He throws to first, and the umpire has said that Hayward has beat it out. He's safe. Get a look at that on the replay, and I think the Giants would like to look at it as well. There is action, and they are asking for the headsets. So Gabe Kapler wants them to go have a look at it. Ooh, and as we get the replay on that one, I'm not sure if this one's going to get overturned. Let's take a look again. That is going to be close. It'll be interesting to see if there's some home cooking here. I don't think this one's going to get overturned. The umpire at first base says safe. And we are, from our vantage point, calling safe as well. But you never know what's going to go on in New York, what they see differently. They may have a different angle than what we do. The angle that we've got it at, I think that Hayward is already in contact with the base. But we're going to let the umpires here make their decisions. One of the things with these reviews is I really think that you should have about 60 seconds to make the review or less. If it goes beyond 60 seconds, the call should stand. And the reason for that is that if you have to go look at the replay for that long to make a decision, then it's that close, then the play on the field should stand. Sometimes there's plays you can look at it really quickly and you're just like, well, you know what? That's an easy overturn. Let's make the call and get on the road with it. But here we are. The umpires are waiting for a decision to make. If it's this close, then you just can't overturn it. Let's carry on. But it disrupts the rhythm of the game. The pitcher, Gosman, is now standing around waiting. The pitcher in the opponent's dugout, being Alzolay, I don't think he's going to return for the next inning work because there looks like there's some serious action in the Cubs bullpen. So here comes the call, and they are going to confirm the call, and Jason Hayward is safe. He's got himself a infield single. That's going to bring up Matt Duffy to the plate. So Hayward's aboard with a single. Duffy strikes to the plate. Took way too long to make that decision. Duffy on the season, his average today has slipped to 263. He's got 3 homers and 20 RBIs. He bats from the right side. Gosman gets ready to go back to work, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. And the count is 0-1 to Duffy. So no balls and 1 strike. Gosman ready to go back to work. He comes set at the chest. He kicks and he delivers. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Gosman ready to go back to work. He comes set at the chest. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball that is taken for a called 3rd strike, and Duffy is retired for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the pitcher's spot, which is supposed to be Adbert Alzolay. Let's see what the Cubs are going to do in this situation if we're going to get ourselves a pinch hitter, as I would expect. That is going to bring up Nick Martini to the plate. So Martini is going to get an opportunity to pinch hit. Martini is batting .083 on the season. But he is going to come in and bat for Alzolay. Martini is played in left field, and he's been a pinch hitter. He's going to be his 13th at bat of the season. He's bounced around a little bit. He was last in the big leagues in 2019. He was with the Padres and the Oakland Athletics, and he was with the Athletics in 2018. A lifetime 261 big league hitter. So the runner at first is Hayward. Here's the pitch to Martini. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. The action in the bullpen, it is Rodriguez, the right-hander, up and throwing for the Cubs. So there will be the pitching change in the next inning. More likely it's going to be Rodriguez. So here comes the pitch from Gausman. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. The Wrigley faithful still show up in droves to watch their team play, and in some ways I really think it's a shame that the Cubs have a small market, small-minded approach. They are like certain teams in the league, in different leagues, that are able to, no matter what, always get. And Gausman throws over to first base, and diving back is Jason Hayward. The first base umpire has called him out, and it's a pickoff, but the Cubs are going to have a quick look at this. And here we go. We're going to have some headsets again. So the Hayward doesn't believe that he got picked off. He was really jockeying over there at first base. We're going to see what happens here. And that'll be a quick one because Jason Hayward's hand has gotten back to the base before the tag was applied. So here we go back to the headsets again. But again, this decision shouldn't take very long because as the throw comes over, Belt, Hayward's hand is to the base, and then the tag is applied. And off come the headsets. And there's the overturned call. They have reversed it, and safe is the signal. A lot of action today for the first base umpire over at the one bag. That's Lance Barrett today. He's now had a couple of calls that have been challenged. He got the last one right, and this one here was overturned. So here we go back to the action, and here's the pitch to Martini, but instead Gausman throws over to first again, and diving back in time is Hayward. Hayward's really got some active feet over at first base. He's got his feet moving. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Gausman sets himself at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Martini is down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, David Bodie. Bodie is 0 for 1 today. He came on as a replacement for the pitcher in a double switch. He's batting in the 9 position. Bodie is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. The runner at first is Hayward. There's 2 away here in the Cubs half of the 4th inning. Gausman holds set at the chest. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. When you look at the Chicago Cubs batting order, There's a lot of light hitting players and a lot of poor batting averages. And so being able to get runners on base and be able to string hits together is a challenge for this group. And there is a changeup swung on. It's grounded to the 6 hole. It's backhanded by Crawford. He throws to first. It's not going to be in time. Hayward trying to go first to third, and he slides into third base safely. But he is down right now. He's holding on to the base. And I don't know what they're coming in to look for. It was a really, really entertaining play. Ball was grounded into the 6 hole at shortstop. Crawford does a great job to backhand the play. He fires it across the diamond. He had no chance to get the runner, as it was a very difficult play to make. Bode will get an infield single. Hayward tries to go first to third. As he goes first to third, he slides into third safely, but it was Crawford who had to come all the way back. Hayward is still down on his back. I'm going to have to see where the tag is. He might have taken the tag right in the face. That's what I think that he's concerned about, but we're going to have to catch the replay on that. Mayweather K7 says the wind's blowing out, and that's exactly what it was. It was a glove to the face and then a knee to the head. So Crawford makes the play, and then he's got to get over to third base as the ball was taking the third baseman in the direction, and he tries to avoid Hayward. It's not a fault of Crawford. That was not intentional. He tries to make the tag and leap out of the way, and his left knee catches the side of the head and takes the helmet off of Hayward. And I can understand why the birds are flying around Hayward's head. I don't think he is kind of staying the game here. He's up on his feet. He's got dirt on the back of his head. He looks a little bit woozy as he gets to his feet. Trainers are out with him. The manager's out with him. They're talking to him. I have a feeling that Hayward is going to call it a day here. He's got all kinds of gravel on the top of his head, and that looks like it's going to be it for Jason Hayward today. We're going to get ourselves a pinch runner as he slowly makes his way to the dugout. It's unfortunate for the Cubs. Hayward's slowly going to make his way down the tunnel into the training area. He's getting assisted by the backup catcher, Robinson Chirinos. And of course, Hayward definitely got himself into the bag. And that's really, really difficult. Lost his sunglasses, lost his helmet as he takes that knee to the head. So we're going to get ourselves a pinch runner, and we're ready to resume the action here in just a moment. Andy Green is out to talk to the umpires and give his decision. I don't think I've ever seen a home plate umpire with a mouth guard underneath his helmet, but it looks like today's home plate umpire is wearing a mouth guard. It's Carlos Torres who is the umpire. Maybe we should have had the mouth guard in Jason Hayward's mouth. But they've come out to make the changes, and we'll give you that change with the pinch runner in just a moment as soon as we can get that picked up. But again, Merriweather K7 says, wind's blowing out, making the decision and the factors of his plays at Wrigley. Absolutely. The wind blowing at Wrigley Field can provide a lot of entertainment. So the runners around the corners. And it's Adrian Sampson in the pinch run. Sampson is a pitcher for the Cubs, so he is going to be burned as a pinch runner here. And that is going to bring up Rafael Ortega to the plate, who is the leadoff hitter. And the first pitch to Ortega is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. So the runner at third is Sampson. The runner at first is Bote. Ortega batting from the left side. There are three defenders to the right of second base. Here's the pitch from Gossman. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Moving back on the warning track is the right fielder Wade Jr., and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it for the Cubs in their half of the fourth inning. But Ortega sure made it entertaining with the deep fly ball to right field. So for the Cubs in their half of the fourth inning, they had no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Moving to the top of the fifth inning, it is the San Francisco Giants 6, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call. The top of the fifth inning. We're glad you're here checking it out. Here's our friend Steve again. Be sure to check out his channel.
Hello, and we'll be right back to Last Reps Baseball after this brief message from me, Steve Rademacher. Thank you all for watching my channel and supporting me. Thank you all for supporting Freddie in Last Reps Baseball. He does an awesome job commentating. And to show you some more stuff that you could see on my channel, we have shiny Pokemon cards. We have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Brett Favre. We have Bo Jackson playing baseball. That's right. That's his rookie card. Very nice. We even have gold. We have gold. We have wrestlers. That's Rowdy Piper. And yes, we even have Jason Stokes and many ways to destroy him. So now, thank you again. Back to your regular program with your host, Last Reps Baseball.
Thanks again, Steve. We're moving to the top of the fifth inning. It's 6-3 for the San Francisco Giants over the Chicago Cubs. We'll be back in just a couple moments after these tunes with all the action. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to have some defensive changes for you, but first of all, we have a pitching change. It's going to be Manuel Rodriguez coming in relief for the Cubs today. In 17 games this season, he's pitched 16 innings. He's got a 3.38 ERA. There is going to be a defensive switch as we are going to be losing Jason Hayward, and there's a fastball that misses inside to Lamont Wade Jr. for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Nick Martini is going to be posting up in right field. So the switch in the ball game, and Ian Happ has now moved over to left field. And there's a breaking ball that is down and in, and the count is now 2-0 to Wade Jr. Lamont Wade Jr. is 0 for 2 today. He's flown out to right field, and he's popped out to second in his 2 trips to the plate. Rodriguez comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 2-1. So Rodriguez is going to go into the spot of the batting order that was occupied by Jason Hayward. There is a fastball that misses outside. And the count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Lamont Wade Jr. And Nick Martini will stay in the 8th spot, which was at one time occupied by Adbert Alzolay. And here's the pitch to Wade Jr., and it misses low, and that is going to be ball 4. And Wade Jr. is aboard with a walk here in the 5th inning. Certainly our score book is looking a lot like Scrabble now. We have all kinds of arrows and different things over because the changes in the lineups. And that's going to bring up Chris Bryant to the plate with the runner Lamont Wade Jr. at first. Bryant today is 1 for 2. He singled in the third and he grounded to third back in the second. He's officially 1 for 2. Rodriguez kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. 73 degrees and sunshine in Chicago. The wind blowing out. It is a beautiful day. The wind has changed a bit of direction. It began the game blowing out. The flags are now moving from right to left. But the wind is picking up and the flags are straight. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball at 98 miles an hour that misses outside. And Wilson Contreras has asked for time. He's going out to have a chat with his pitcher. And we have a visit from the pitching coach as well. It has been a challenge to throw strikes. Chicago Cubs pitching can throw a ton of pitches here today. As we mentioned before and often on our streams, usually the rule of thumb is about 15 pitches per inning. And so over a 9-inning game, you can say if you can be down around 135 pitches, you've got yourself a chance to win the ball game. Well, today, entering into this inning between Davies and Alzolay, they were at 85 pitches, and now Rodriguez has already thrown 7. So 95 pitches, we're only in the 5th inning. This is easily going to be a day that's going to approach the 200 mark. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away, and the count is 2-1. It's a very difficult game if you can't get ahead of the batters and throw strikes. It becomes a hitter's game in a hitter's park, and that's a recipe for disaster. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Rodriguez leans in, and he gets the sign from Contreras, catcher. The runner at first is Wade Jr. He kicks and delivers, and that is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now runs even to 2-2 on Bryant. Bryant has had an emotional return to Chicago. Yesterday, they gave him a pretty cool tribute. They also gave him a standing ovation in his first at-bat yesterday, and he got it again today. The Wrigley faithful acknowledging his years of service in Chicago. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into center field. Charging hard is Ortega. He can't make the catch. It falls in front of him. He comes up throwing to second base. It is not in time as Wade Jr. gets there safely. The first 2 hitters are aboard here in the 5th inning. Bryant's got himself a single. His second hit of the ball game. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Crawford today is officially 1 for 1. He walked and scored a run in the second. He singled and was part of a unconventional double play in the 3rd inning. It was a 1-3-2 double play. He was on third and trying to score when the pitcher Gosman had dropped the bunt down. When they had made the throw to first base, he took off for the plate, but he was retired on a very good throw by Frank Schwindel, and he takes a breaking ball inside for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. We were talking earlier about MVP candidates in the National League, and certainly Brandon Crawford would have to be considered in the mix. It's what I would call a very light race. After Fernando Tatis started to have a bit of a swoon there at the beginning of August, his play hasn't been of MVP caliber. Other players like Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Bryce Harper have come into the conversation. But nobody's talking about this fella, the shortstop for the San Francisco Giants, Brandon Crawford. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Crawford. Rodriguez checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike on the outside corner. And the count is 1-2. Crawford will be followed by the third baseman, Longoria. The San Francisco Giants are such a deep ball club. Their offense can go 1 through 8. They're very, very dangerous. Crawford, it's a breaking ball down in the dirt. The count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford gets himself dug in. They're ready to go back to work. Rodriguez holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's lifted foul on the third base side. And the count remains at 2-2. It's only one time today that the Giants went down in order. It was in the 4th inning where LaStella, Belt, and Posey were retired 1-2-3. Outside of that, they've had runners on the base paths in every inning. So Crawford waits on the 2-2. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's lifted into the seats, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford hitting from the left side. Not too many left-handed hitting shortstops across Major League Baseball. He's got a very open stance. And here's the pitch from Rodriguez. It's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 3-2. You go through every Major League roster and you think about the shortstops, or the better shortstops in the game for that matter, guys that are everyday players. You have a hard time counting out the ones that hit from the left side. If I'm not mistaken, Corey Seager is also a left-handed stick. I have to double check on that. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. That draws Crawford a walk, but certainly Trevor Story, Carlos Correa, Fernando Tatis Jr., all right-handed sticks. So the bases are now loaded, full of Giants. It is Crawford the runner at first. Bryant is at second. Wade Jr. is at third, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Evan Longoria. Longoria has had himself a good afternoon today. He's raised his season average up to 295. He's doubled and singled and knocked in a run today. The bases are juiced, full of Giants, and here comes Longoria. The first pitch to him is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. I will say this, Rodriguez has got a little giddy up on his fastball. That last pitch was at 98 miles an hour. He just can't throw enough of his fastballs for strikes. At this point right now, he's thrown 19 pitches. He's only thrown 8 for strikes. Here's the pitch to Longoria. It's a fastball that almost hit him. Turned him around in the batter's box, and the count is now 2-0. The acting manager, Andy Green, is on the phone again to the bullpen. So 2 balls and no strikes, and here comes the 2-0 to Longoria. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-0. So the 5-alarm blaze is happening right now at Wrigley, and it's on the diamond. 3 balls and no strikes. The bases are loaded. There is nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. And here's Rodriguez ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and Evan Longoria has drawn himself a walk. He picks himself up an RBI. Lamont Wade Jr. has come around to score. That's 3 walks in the inning so far. Bryant advances to third. Crawford goes to second with the Longoria walk. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski. So the Giants have extended the lead to 7-3. And the right-hander in the bullpen is a pitcher who we saw yesterday. It's Tommy Nance. Nance is a 6'6" right-hander, and he's getting himself moving quickly as pitcher Rodriguez is in some serious trouble. So Mike Yastrzemski steps to the plate, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yastrzemski today is officially 0 for 1. He struck out in the 3rd, and he was intentionally walked in the 2nd. He actually received 3 balls from the starter Davies, and they just held up the 4 fingers and put them on with the other one. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1 to Yastrzemski. The pitcher, Kevin Gausman, is waiting his turn on deck. So the Cubs are in pretty much straight up position, though the shortstop is close to the bag at second base. There's a fastball that misses up and away. The count is 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yastrzemski. So here comes the 2-1. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into right field. It's going to get down. It's picked up by the right fielder, Happ. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And that is going to be a 2-run single for Yastrzemski. It's going to hold Longoria at second base, but Bryant and Crawford come around to score, and the Giants have extended their lead over the Cubs to 9-3. And there's still nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. That's going to bring up the pitcher, Kevin Gausman. The way the runs have been scored here at Wrigley, I wouldn't think that this game is far from over, and that is going to do it for Rodriguez. He faces 5 batters and fails to get anybody out. We are going to be going to the bullpen for a pitching change. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you're with us.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Thanks again, everybody. That is our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out another Hollis build after the game. We are going to be back in just a moment with the pitching change. Glad you're with us. It is going to be Tommy Nance coming in to pitch, and he's going to be facing the pitcher, Kevin Gausman. Hold tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change for the Chicago Cubs. It is going to be a right-hander coming into the ball game, and it is going to be Tommy Nance Jr. I say Tommy Nance or Tommy Nance, period. We'll get you all the specs on him. He is a 6'6" right-hander. He's got a power arm in 22 1/3 innings this year. He's got an ERA of 4.84. And Nance is going to be in relief of Manuel Rodriguez, who faced 5 batters and couldn't get a out. Nance is going to go into the 6th spot in the batting order. He is going to hit where Jason Hayward began the game. Of course, Hayward left the game, and he's going to go into some concussion protocols. And so Gausman straight away is squaring to bunt. The first pitch is a fastball fouled away for strike 1. So Tommy Nance now in the ball game. He is a rookie right-hander for the Cubs. He's a big man. He's 6'6" and 235. Gausman again squares the bunt. Here's the pitch from Nance, and it is a fastball that is stabbed at and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 0-2 to Gausman again. He squares the bunt. He gets it down. It's a good one. It's fielded by Contreras. He throws to third. They've come across the dryman and not going to be in time to get Gosman. What a great play by Contreras. He got out there like a cat. He picked the ball up and he threw off a one leg to be able to retire. It was a good, not a bad bunt by Gosman either, but you got to give a lot of credit to the catcher Contreras. That ball was a pretty good bunt. It got to the grass. He fielded it off a one leg and threw off that one leg all in one motion. That is going to retire Longoria. That goes down as a fielder's choice, 2-5. Advances Yastrzemski to second, and Gosman is now the runner on first. That brings up the top of the order hitter. That is Tommy La Stella. And the first pitch he sees, he swings on, and he absolutely hammers it right off the scoreboard in right field. And Tommy La Stella has just hit himself a 3-run homer here in the 5th inning. The Chicago Cubs' misery continues in the 5th inning as they are now trailing 12-3 the San Francisco Giants. This game has been blown apart by that last swing right there. It's going to be very difficult for the Cubs to make their way back into this one. So La Stella on the first fastball he sees, and it was a no-doubter. He knew as soon as he hit it that ball was headed for the scoreboard, and sure enough, and here comes a breaking ball to Brandon Belt, and he fouls that one off, and the count is 0-1. Belt today is 2 for 3. He doubled in the first. He homered a 3-run variety in the second, and he struck out looking in the 4th. He's having himself a good series here in Chicago. He is 4 for 6 with a couple of walks already. And here's the pitch from Nance. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-2. All of the damage here in the 5th inning has come with only 1 out. Well, Stella absolutely blistered that pitch. And here comes the pitch from Nance. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And Belt is down on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Buster Posey. This is the 2nd time in the ballgame that the Giants have batted around, as they're sending their 9th hitter to the plate here in the 5th inning. 12-3 is the scoreline. I think the only thing that probably is almost left to think about is, will we see a positional player pitch in the 9th inning? So here comes the pitch from Nance. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0 to Posey. Posey today is officially 0 for 2. He's flown to center. He's grounded to second. He walked back in the 2nd inning. Our friend Mayweather K says it's a perfect game for him. Here's a fastball swung on. It is grounded into center field. And Buster Posey has himself a single, and it is going to be Lamont Wade Jr. coming to bat, and he led off the inning with a walk. And Mayweather K7 definitely in here. It's always entertaining. We usually get the gamblers in late night when we do the Japanese games. Get them from all over the place. Last night was a quiet night on our front, but definitely coming in and playing the odds. There's a breaking ball delivered to Lamont Wade Jr. This is down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So the runner at first is Posey. Now this game today in Chicago, and there's a breaking ball that misses down. Count is 2-0. I would be curious to know what the lineup for the Giants will look like tomorrow. I'm sure they'll give a couple guys some days off, but the bullpen for the Cubs is just going to be worn out here. At some point in time, Andy Green's going to have to make a decision to ride somebody for a little bit to eat up some innings. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm really impressed with the San Francisco Giant lineup. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. My concern for the Giants would be is when we get into the playoffs, not so much on a 1-game gig, but how are their top three arms going to match up against some of the other arms on the other teams? And I think that is the difference. I wouldn't write them off because obviously they've got some very experienced offensive players. There is a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Lamont Wade. We'll give you my thoughts on more of that when we come back. But for the Giants in their half of the fifth inning, they scored 6 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was a pile of walks. There was no errors and 1 runner left on base. We are now going to the bottom of the fifth inning. It is San Francisco Giants 12, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments to call the bottom of the fifth inning. We're glad you're with us. I think it's appropriate for this one right about now.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down, 'cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Thanks again to Matt Hollis. We appreciate his support of our channel, and in return, we support him. We were talking a little bit in the last inning about the pitching and the starting pitching for the Giants going into the playoffs. I think the biggest thing for the Giants that they're going to have to do, and there looks like there's going to be some changes, is Thairo Estrada is entering the game. Not sure where he's going in at. We'll get you that in just a moment. It looks like he may be going in to replace Crawford, but we'll get that for you in just a second. There is a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So Frank Schwindel is the hitter. He leads it off here. Schwindel, Happ, and Contreras. Schwindel is 2 for 2 today. He's got 4 hits in the first 2 games of this series. He takes a breaking ball outside. The count is 1-1. We were talking in the last inning. We ended off with my thoughts that I'm not sure if the Giants are going to have October pitching or October stuff when they get into some of the series. I'm not sure where they're going to fit in here. And so there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. And a couple of our watchers have chimed in. Dirtbag says he agrees that the starting pitching is a little shaky, but fastball swung on. It's grounded to the stop. Estrada is going to retire Schwindel for the first out of the inning. It goes as a ground out, 6-3. So is going to enter the game for Crawford. He will bat in his spot in the batting order. He'll be up second next inning. So just a couple of other things. So I was thinking about the pitching staff, obviously, for the Dodgers. The best thing that could happen is the Dodgers end up getting the wild card, and they have to play somebody in that wild card in a one game. Anything can happen in a one game. There's a fastball that misses outside. Count is 0-1. And the Dodgers have a potential to win 100 games this year. And can you imagine going into a wild card, winning 100 games, playing a team that's probably won 10 to 12 games less than you, potentially, and losing in a one-game gig, and that could very easily happen. And there is a changeup that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomorrow it'll be Logan Webb against Justin Steele, the starters of the two teams. So Gosman holds at the chest, and he kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 2-1 now to Ian Happ. As I was saying before, I think that the pitching for the Giants, it'll be interesting. I mean, Kevin Gausman is absolutely electric, and there's a fastball swung on. It's driven into deep left center field. Moving back on the warning track is Yastrzemski. He's going to make the grab, and he's going to haul it in. And that is going to retire Happ for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Wilson Contreras. Mayweather K7 says Rios is on another planet right now, and that's also true. I think of what Mayweather K7 says, the Giants have, with the coaching, the chemistry, and their offense to be above average. The offense is going to have to carry them for sure. But as we say, good pitching always beats good hitting in the playoffs. And so it'll be curious to see how that will play out. So here's Wilson Contreras. He's 2 for 2 today. He's got a couple of singles and has driven in 2 of the 3 Cubs runs. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. So the options that are in play for the Dodgers, when they get into the playoffs, they've got Kershaw, Scherzer, Urias. I don't think David Price will be used as a starter. There's a ball that's down, and the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. That was a dicey catch in the outfield by Yastrzemski, and that to retire the batter Happ here a moment ago. It was a ball that almost exited his glove. As he was getting close to the wall, it's like a football player hearing footsteps. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 2-1. But when I think of the Giants, the one wild card that could be interesting, and I don't know what the status of Aaron Sanchez is, but Aaron Sanchez, if he could have been healthy and he could have been pitching here in September, he would have been a very interesting piece to the puzzle for the Giants going into the offseason or into the postseason. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. But his injuries, his hangnails, his blisters have really derailed him in his career. Toronto Blue Jays had enough. They sent him over to Houston. Houston saw enough. The Giants took a flyer on him, and it's pretty much a low-risk, high-reward situation with Aaron Sanchez. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that is taken for a called third strike, and Contreras has gone down looking. He has been retired for the 3rd out of the 5th inning. So the Cubs go quietly in their half of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through 5 complete at Wrigley Field. It is the San Francisco Giants 12, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment to call the 6th inning. We'll carry on our thoughts about the postseason when we return. Here's another one of our Japanese Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the sixth inning, and the Giants are going to be sending Chris Bryant, Thairo Estrada, and Evan Longoria to the plate. And we have been talking a little bit about the playoffs that are going to be starting in about 3 weeks' time or so, and we're talking about the pitching of the San Francisco Giants. And Dirtbag has said Webb has quietly become the Giants' ace. Absolutely, he has. And Mayweather K7 says he figures that Gosman, Webb, and DeScalafini will find a way to compete. One thing that the Giants do well is they do, and it travels everywhere with them, is they play pretty good defense. They are very, very good defending ball club. And the Cubs are going back to the bullpen again as Dylan Maples is now coming into the ball game. He is going to be replacing Tommy Nance. This is going to be the fifth pitcher of the game used by the Cubs. And there are some other changes defensively, and we'll have to get those for you as we move along. We have a new catcher. We've got a new positional player, and right now it's going to be our scorebook is looking like a crossword puzzle. So Maples against Chris Bryant. Here's the first pitch. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Maples ready to deliver again. He's a short armer. He really just pulls it back and lets it go. There's an 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Misses outside. The count is 1-1. So wholesale changes for the Cubs. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball, and that's fouled away over on the first base side. I started just off topic from the pitching that we were talking about for the playoffs. I started to mention a couple innings ago, it's kind of sad to see the Chicago Cubs franchise, one of the most storied franchises in all of baseball, run their team as if it's a low market team right now. And that's what we're witnessing here in Chicago. They've blown up their core guys. When you think of San Francisco has been an entity for the last 20 plus years. They had a little bit of a downturn there in the 90s, but for the last 20 years, all they have done is retooled. And there is a fastball swung on. It's a jam job. It's lifted over to the first base side. Frank Schwindel goes back. He's going to make the catch. That's going to retire Bryant for the first out here in the sixth inning. As the Cubs, if I was a Cubs fan, I'd be really ticked off. They've torn that team right apart. I know they're building from scratch, but when I look at this group and I say, okay, who are they building around right now? What are they going to do? What are the pieces that they're going to build around? And I don't really know if I have an answer for you. So Thairo Estrada batting in place of Brandon Crawford. He's got a 274 average with 6 homers and 20 RBIs. This is his first at bat of the ball game. Here comes the first pitch from Maples. It's a fastball that backs Estrada off of the plate. The count is 1-0. But it's a legitimate, serious question to think about. Who are you building around, or who are going to be the core players in Chicago? You've just dealt all your core guys, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and it counts 1-1. Whereas I think in San Francisco, you think of Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, and Brandon Belt. Those three players in particular have been mainstays of the Giants for the last however many seasons. And they've been able to bring guys in to build around them and to keep them there. And there's a fastball that misses low and away, and the count is 2-1. So for the Cubs fans who are listening in or listening on delay, those are things that I'd be asking my ownership group. I know you guys can't afford to pay everybody, but you got to be able to keep somebody around. So there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the shortstop. Duffy fields it. He fires to first. That's going to retire Estrada. That goes as a ground out, 6-3 for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Evan Longoria. If I was a Cubs fan, I'd be demanding, especially a season ticket holder, I'd be demanding, hey, why are we playing the way we're playing? So Evan Longoria strides up to the plate. He is 2 for 2 today. and a walk. He's doubled, he's singled, and he's walked. He's knocked in a pair of runs. And the first pitch to Longoria is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So here's the 0-1 pitch to Longoria. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the first base side. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes. Mike Yastrzemski will follow. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 2 away here in the 6th inning. Longoria gets himself dug in, and Maple's ready to go back to work. He's set at the chest. He kicks and delivers, and it is a breaking ball that misses almost outside the left-handed batter's box. It was not far away, and the count is now 2-2 to Longoria. Longoria gets back up to the plate, and he's ready to go again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, and Longoria takes it for a called 3rd strike. And for only the 2nd time today, the Giants go down in order in their half of the inning. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 5.5 in Wrigley. It is the San Francisco Giants 12, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the bottom of the 6th inning. Glad you're with us. It's our friend Steve again.
Hey guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones, a creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel, whether it's Money Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, No Filter Friday, or the Saturday morning cartoons. He's got something for everybody. He is always a very, very entertaining character. So we are about ready to go back to work here in the 6th inning. It is going to be Patrick Wisdom. It'll be the pitcher's spot, which is going to be Dylan Maples, and then Matt Duffy. We've got a couple changes that we're going to have to catch up on here. So Wisdom is coming to the plate, ready to go. It looks like it's going to be Ribas actually in the spot where Nance was. So we've got changes all over the board. So Wisdom, Ribas, and Duffy to get things going. Today it is 0 for 2 for Wisdom. He's grounded into a double play, and he's struck out. Pitch is a fouled away, and the count is 0-1. So Gosman gets ready to go back to work. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's caught on the fists, and this one's fouled away, and the count is 0-2. Gosman's got some pretty nasty stuff. We saw that in Baltimore when he was with the Orioles. He really had some interesting pitches, just the amount of movement on his stuff, and Wisdom has walked away. He's got a little bit of a chuckle going. That pitch there was fouled off, and I can see why he's laughing. He fouled it off, and it went straight up and it hit his helmet. He almost fouled that pitch into his face. Holy man. He had a little, at least he had a chuckle out of it, but it caught the bill of his cap. It's totally bizarre. I don't think I've seen that in a long time. So here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a changeup, and it's swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count is 0-2. I guess all you can do is laugh at it when you foul a 94-mile-an-hour pitch off into your face, as he just about did. Thankfully, we didn't have to witness that. That would have been a real shame, because certainly Wisdom's having himself a decent year this year. Would have been a freak accident. Here comes the pitch. It is a changeup that misses down, and the count is now 1-2 to Wisdom. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gosman's up to 83 pitches now. One would expect this may be his last inning of work. We may see a steady diet of San Francisco relief arms from here on out, with a healthy 12-3 lead. So here comes the 1-2. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So it's a beautiful day for baseball at Wrigley Field. It was 73 degrees at game time. The wind is started the day blowing out, and then it has changed directions. It's blowing from right to left, and there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Wisdom goes down on strikes. He is retired for the first out of the inning. That's the 8th strikeout in the books. Temperature at game time was 73 degrees to start, but the temperature now is up to 85 degrees in Chicago. It's a great day to see a ball game at the north side. So 1 away, and that brings up the left fielder Rivas. This is his first at bat today. And the first pitch to him is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Rivas digs himself in. And there's the pitch. It is a changeup swung on and fouled off over on the first base side. Alfonso Rivas is a rookie. This is his 11th game in a Cubs uniform. He is batting .286. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. He's only got 21 at-bats entering this one here. So Alfonso Rivas is in the hole 0-2. And there's a fastball that he checks his swing, but he can't hold up, and Gosman has retired Rivas for the second out of the inning. And the second out by the way of the strikeout. That's going to bring up Matt Duffy, the second baseman. So Matt Duffy is 0 for 2. He's lined out and he's struck out. There's the pitch from Gosman. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. There's a changeup taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Duffy. Gosman comes set at the belt, raises to his chest, and he kicks and delivers. There is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count remains 0-2 to Duffy. So no balls and 2 strikes. Ready to go back to work is Gosman. He holds at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on, and it is caught by the third baseman, Longoria. Really good defensive play. That ball was hit on the screws. That ball was going down the left field line. It was a beautiful play by Longoria to dive to his right. He makes the grab, and that is going to retire the Cubs again in order here in the 6th inning. So for Chicago in their half of the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 7th inning. It is the San Francisco Giants 12, the Chicago Cubs 3. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a moment. Here is another one of our Did You Know segments featuring players from around Major League Baseball. Here you go. Here is Cleveland Indian Josh Naylor. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning, and slated to come to bat is Mike Yastrzemski, Kevin Gausman, and Tommy La Stella. I have a feeling we are going to see a pinch hitter for Gausman, as his day may be over. And so the 8, 9, and 1 spots are coming up. And ready to get back to work is the pitcher, Dylan Maples. Here comes the first pitch to Yastrzemski. It is a fastball that misses off the plate. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Maples working from the right side, gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that again misses off the outside corner, and the count is now 2-0 to Yastrzemski. So 2 balls and no strikes. There's the pitch from Maples. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left center field. Moving in underneath it. And this ball is being taken for a ride by the wind, and Rivas has to dive, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire the leadoff hitter, Yastrzemski. The wind was absolutely wreaking havoc with it. He had to dive, and he comes up with the grab. That was unbelievable. So it looked like they were coming in on it, and the next thing you know, it looks like he's camped under, and then he takes it for a ride. It might have actually been an easier play for the center fielder. But holy man, that was unbelievable, as Rivas has to dive to make that grab. The wind is definitely blowing like crazy. Of course, when it comes back down into that stadium, or in the shelter of the stadium, it can change yet again. So 1 away, and that was not an easy out, as Alfonso Rivas makes the catch. And there is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. We do have a pinch hitter here for Kevin Gausman. Stephen Duggar at the plate. And so here comes the pitch to Duggar. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. Now, unless I missed something, I've got it at 2-0, but the scoreboard was at 1-0. Now they've made the adjustment. So Duggar into pinch hit. Maples holds set at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 3-0. Tommy LaStella is waiting his turn on deck. Duggar, in 88 games this season, is hitting .275. He's got 7 homers and 33 runs batted in. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs. And Duggar has drawn himself a 1-out walk, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Tommy LaStella. Our friend Dirtbag, who's watching the game in here, was absolutely shocked on that play. You know, I think of the games that go on at Old Candlestick Park, and you know, obviously playing down in the Bay in San Francisco, there's a lot of wind blowing around like crazy there. That's a very difficult park to play. That makes it all the more impressive of how the Giants are able to play defense. If you can play defense in San Francisco, you can pretty much play defense anywhere. They're a very sound defensive group, and there is a speed pitch that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to LaStella. LaStella today is 2 for 4. He's got a single, a home run, 3-run homer that is, and he's flown out twice to center field. Here comes the 1-0, and there is a fastball that misses outside. The count's now 2-0. 6 straight balls in a row by Maples. This has been the theme of the day by the Chicago Cubs, their inability to throw strikes as a team. If you can't throw strikes, you can't have success at pretty much any level of baseball. They've thrown 151 pitches. I'm going to do the quick math at the end of the inning. Probably the best strike thrower on the day, well, would have been Tommy Nance. He was 11 for 14, 11 strikes and 14 pitches. There's a breaking ball that lands in for a strike to LaStella. So 2 balls and a strike. Maples back to work. He delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-2 to LaStella. So back to the action. There's another breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. For Maples, he's not even living by the 50% rule. He has thrown 11 strikes out of his 25 pitches. Here's the pitch, and it is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to LaStella. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul. And the count remains 3-2. So there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Mike Yastrzemski flew out to begin the inning. Steven Duggar, the pinch hitter, drew a walk, and Tommy LaStella has worked the count full to the pitcher Maples. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Comes the 3-2 pitch. And he kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely obliterated. If it stays fair, it's going to be a home run. It's going to hook foul, and it is going to reach the street. That would have been the second time today that LaStella would have went yard. Absolutely blast that. I hope nobody was parked on the street. Dirtbag says he's got a lot of memories of Candlestick Park. I got a pretty cool picture. My dad used to live in the San Francisco area back in the 60s. He was in Menlo, California. And here comes the pitch, and there is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to short, flipped over to second for 1, back to first. And LaStella has grounded into the 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So for the Giants in their half of the seventh, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. I'll come back with my thoughts on Candlestick in just a couple moments. It is the San Francisco Giants 12, the Chicago Cubs 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with all the changes for the Cubs here in just a moment. Glad you're with us.
Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the seventh inning. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 spots coming up in the batting order for the Chicago Cubs. We have a couple of scores on the out-of-town scoreboard this afternoon as other games are starting to get underway. It's the top of the fourth inning. The Oakland Athletics have a 3-2 lead over the Texas Rangers. And in the middle of the second inning, they're going to the bottom of the second. The Toronto Blue Jays are knotted up with the Orioles 2-2. After sweeping away the New York Yankees, the Blue Jays are running into a buzzsaw all of a sudden in Baltimore. They dropped the decision to them last night. We started to talk a little bit about the Candlestick Park and their memories. I've got some cool photos my dad had taken, as I said, back in the 60s of old Candlestick, and it's kind of where it was in position. I've actually never been to San Francisco. It is on my hit list here as I do live on the coast now. And I'll be making my way down there at some point. And so hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Obviously, with all of the travel things going on, it is a bit of a challenge to do some of that stuff. So it's going to be Martini, Bote, and Ortega to get things going here in the seventh inning for the Chicago Cubs. We'll see how this is going to play out. You obviously have an extended part of the inning. There is a memories of September 11th. There's a lot of tributes going on today for 9/11. I think a lot of people will have memories, and it'll be one of those events in your life that you always remember kind of where you were and what you were doing or during that time. And obviously, there's a lot of people it has affected their lives. And it's definitely an unfortunate situation. And obviously, hopefully, it will never be repeated again on these shores. And so here we are back to the live action. And we've got a new pitcher for the San Francisco Giants in the ball game, and that is Berrigar, and he is facing Nick Martini. And the first two pitches are taken for strikes, and the count quickly is 0-2. For Caleb Berrigar, he's appeared in 20 innings this year, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs. He's got an ERA of 1.36. This is his 25th appearance of the year. He's working very quickly. He kicks and delivers. There's a changeup swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Martini here for the first out of the seventh inning. So one up and one away, and that's going to bring up David Bote. So Caleb Berrigar, the lefty, is in, and he doesn't waste any time. He gets the ball, and he is ready to go. So David Bote strides to the plate. They do have a new catcher in. It's Kurt Caselli now receiving the pitches for the Giants. And the first pitch is swung on. This is a fastball lifted to deep left field. Moving back underneath it is Bryant. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Bode for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. That's going to leave it up to the center fielder, Rafael Ortega. I don't have these stats in front of me, but Rafael Ortega has a noticeable difference hitting against right-handers and left-handers. Yesterday, we were looking at it, and he was hitting about .058 against lefties. So this matchup doesn't play well for Ortega. The wind has changed direction again. It looks like it's blowing out to left center now. And here comes the first pitch from Bergar, and it's a changeup that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. When you see those type of numbers, you start to lick your chops as a left-handed pitcher. Just start laying the fastballs in there and see what this guy can do. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Dirtbag says, definitely check out AT&T. There is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to second. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Ortega here. It goes as a ground out, 4-3 for out number 3. So I'm going to ask Dirtbag before I go to our break here, what is the best food that is served at AT&T Park? And I'll come back in just a couple minutes with the call of the top of the 8th inning. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Are you into digital cards? Last Wraps Baseball has you covered as we do daily Top Spun Digital 21 card breaks. This new wave of collecting allows baseball fans to collect digital cards and compete against each other for prizes. Check out our daily breaks and send us a trade to Last Wraps. Be sure to tell your friends.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 spots in the batting order coming up for the Giants. And that means it is going to be Brandon Belt, and no longer Buster Posey as Kurt Casale is coming to the game, and Lamont Wade Jr. So it'll be Belt, Posey, Boat, Casale, and Wade to get things going here. Dylan Maples has been in relief. We're going to see if he's going to return for his 3rd inning of action. A lot of tributes today around Major League Baseball to honor the 9/11 acts of atrocity that took place 20 years ago in a number of places in the United States, Washington and New York, and of course in Pennsylvania. And so it's a day of remembrance for a lot of people. And so we are getting ready to resume the action. The Cubs are going back to the bullpen. It is going to be Rex Brothers on in relief, a lefty. It's going to be the 6th pitcher used today by the Chicago Cubs. So Brothers is on in relief. This is his 53rd appearance. He's pitched in 49 innings, and he's got a 4.96 ERA. There is a first pitch fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. When I think of food at ballparks, growing up near Old Tiger Stadium, and Robinson Chirinos is now in at second base with Austin Romine behind the plate, and there is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-0. So I wonder how many times Robinson Chirinos has played second base in his big league career. He's normally been a catcher. So I'll have to get that changed for you. With Brandon Belt at the plate, the count is 2-0. He's 2 for 4 today with a double and a 3-run homer. He's also struck out a couple of times. Here's the pitch from Brothers. It's a fastball swung on, and that's fouled off on the third base side. The count is 2-1. Growing up near Detroit, the things that we used to enjoy were the Tiger Stadium hot dogs. They were really, really good. And those were the things that we really enjoyed, were the Tiger Stadium hot dogs. But then they changed them. They used to be ballpark franks, and the big thing was you plump when you cook them. And it was the fried ballpark franks. And there is a fastball that misses outside. The count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Belt. Up in Seattle, something similar. The garlic fries are very good in Seattle until you eat about a third of them, and then all of a sudden it starts to, you get tired of eating them and they get a little soggy. If you like your beer in Seattle, they used to put ice shavings in the beer to help keep it cool. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Belt. Here comes the pitch from Brothers. He delivers. It's a fastball that misses low, and Belt has got himself a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. So Belt is aboard with a walk. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Kurt Casale. Casale making his appearance today as he's replaced Buster Posey. So Belt is the runner at first. Dirtbag says, there's so much to choose from, I can't really tell you, let your nose decide. One of the items in San Diego that people bark about, and I've had it, and it's pretty good, they have a seafood burrito. And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Casale. I've been down to San Diego. I've had the opportunity to see some games at Petco. So there's another breaking ball down, and this is evening the count at 1-1. You get the opportunity to go to Petco. It's a beautiful park, and the food is pretty good. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is now 2-1 to Casale. So we've got a 12-6 game here, and all we're talking about right now is food, and of course the 12-3 lead here, and all we're talking about is food here as we're in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 2-2. Ballpark food, and asking where there's good ballpark food around the major leagues. And certainly in San Francisco, you have some different stuff. I remember, I think it was in Baltimore, they had crab cakes. It was one of the things on theirs, but I've never been to Baltimore to see that park, and not sure what that would be. But always look for the good stuff in certain areas. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-2 to Casale. I've been to Dodger Stadium, and the talk a lot of the time was about the Dodger dogs. And for me, the Dodger dogs were, to be honest, disappointing. I was really excited for a Dodger dog. And there's a fastball that misses down, and it's back-to-back walks to lead off the 8th inning here. And Casale is aboard with a walk, and Belt is moved over to second. That's going to bring up Lamont Wade Jr. So Lamont Wade Jr. steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. He walked himself in the 5th inning. It's been a tough day here for the Cubs pitchers. That's the 9th walk of the ball game issued by the Cubs. You issue 9 walks, 9 free passes in a game. I don't care who you're playing. It's going to be difficult to win. And there's a fastball turned on. It's driven into the seats down the right field line. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Lamont Wade Jr. So no balls and 1 strike. Brothers gets his sign. He delivers a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Brothers gets the sign from his catcher, Romine. He comes set at the chest level. He kicks and delivers, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lamont Wade Jr. Waiting on deck is the left fielder, Chris Bryant. So Brothers has come out here and has really had to work hard for not much. He's walked the first 2 batters he's faced. He does have Wade Jr. in the hole at 1-2. Ready to go back to the action, and here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball, swung on and fouled away. It clipped Austin Romine. And the count remains at 2-2. So if you're in the rebuild with the Cubs, and we were talking about this earlier on, if you're in the rebuild for the Chicago Cubs, who are you building around? Who are the players that you are building around? And Lamont Wade Jr. something has happened. Gabe Kapler has come out to talk to him. The trainers come out to check on him. Must have saw something looked a little awkward there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dirtbag says he's never done San Diego. That's something he's definitely got to get around. I've seen San Diego and LA. I haven't been to the Angels Park yet. As I said, the Dodger Dogs were a little disappointing. San Diego, what I did when I went to San Diego, I was able to overlap it. I went around this time of the year about 5 years ago, around Labor Day, actually, a week before, and there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Ortega's moving over. He calls off Rivas. He makes the grab, and that is going to retire Wade Jr. for the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Chris Bryant. Bryant today is 2 for 4. He's singled twice. He scored a couple of runs. He's also grounded out to third and popped out to first. I'd also like to get to the Oakland Coliseum before it becomes pavement. I've not seen the A's play before there, and nor have I San Francisco. So that would be a spot where I'd like to get to. Both of those teams sometimes play on the same weekend at home. So if they did something like that, I would try to get down to see both of them. Doesn't always work that way. And here's the pitch from Brothers, and it's a fastball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. You can just smell a 3-run homer coming up here somewhere. I say that because Brothers is all around the plate, and then when he does have to lay it in, you can see these guys pouncing on something here. A lot of things to commemorate Bryant with his time in Chicago. 4-time All-Star. He was MVP, World Series winner. Lots of memories for Chris Bryant in Chicago. So here we go back to the live action. The pitch is a fastball that misses outside to Bryant, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. And here's the pitch from Brothers. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Brothers walked the first 2 batters of this inning and then was able to induce Lamont Wade Jr. into a flyout. But he's gone 3-0 to Chris Bryant. I said in the last inning I was going to take a look at the pitch totals for the Cubs in this game. I would hazard a guess that they're probably right around the 50% mark, and there's a breaking ball that misses down. And Brothers has walked the bases loaded full of Giants here in their half of the 8th inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Thairo Estrada. It's also going to bring a visit out to the mound. Pitching coach is on his way out to the mound to have a talk with Brothers. There's been a path worn to the mound today by the pitching coach. There is action in the Cubs bullpen. They do have a righty up and throwing. And they are in hurry-up mode for sure. Looks like it's Efros is up and throwing. He is definitely in hurry-up mode. So here we are ready to go back to the action as the conference is over. Estrada is the hitter. Ready to resume the action. And here's the pitch from Brothers. It's a fastball that misses outside. There's nowhere to put Estrada here. The base is loaded. We've already seen a bases loaded walk today already. Probably in some ways David Ross is recovering from his bout with the coronavirus, and he's probably saying, thank God I'm not having to watch this in person in the dugout. It'd probably drive him crazy. And there's another fastball that misses outside. The count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Estrada. Got to throw strikes. You got to let them hit it. Hitters find ways to get themselves out. Here's the pitch from Brothers. It's a fastball, and that misses outside. The count is now 3-0. Almost looks like there's a couple of the Cubs pitchers that have the yips. You can't throw strikes. We saw it earlier with Rodriguez, and we're watching it unfold right now with Rex Brothers. Can't find the strike zone. He's out on the back of the dirt, and he's strolling around and probably looking for some big-time help. He's throwing 25 pitches. He's only thrown 8 for strikes. It's unbelievable. So here comes the 3-0 pitch to Estrada. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 3-1. It's the 6th pitcher of the game used tonight by the Cubs. Here's the pitch from Brothers, and it's a fastball that misses up and away, and that is going to walk in a run. And Estrada is going to give himself an RBI, so 4 walks in the inning. And walking to the mound is the acting manager, Andy Green. He has seen enough. He's coming out to get the ball from his left-hander Brothers. They got a run on the board. We're going to take a break here, everybody. We're going to come back, and we're going to look at some of these numbers that the Cubs have today. And the most important thing is not enough strikes. Hold tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Thank you all for being here.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May, but you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. alone. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game. And if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the top of the 8th inning, and it is the bases loaded with one out. We have a pitching change coming for the Chicago Cubs in their half of the inning, and it's going to be Scott Effross now entering the ball game. Just did some quick numbers and a quick check on stuff. The first 6 pitchers used by the Cubs today have combined for 184 pitches. They have thrown 94 strikes, barely over 50%. Effross comes into the game with 5 2/3 innings under his belt with a 3.18 ERA. This is going to be his 5th game for the Cubs. He's going to face Evan Longoria here with the bases loaded. Longoria today is 2 for 3. He's walked and he has struck out. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The Cubs today as a team have walked a season-high 11 batters. If you walk 11 batters in a ball game, it makes it very, very difficult to win ball games. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-1. So 13-3. It also puts your defense to sleep. Hard to keep awake. And so Effross kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count's 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Longoria gets himself back in. He's ready to go. And Effross is ready to get back onto the mound and ready to go back to the action. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball, or checked at the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs and counts 3-1. I've got 3 balls and 1 strike in my books here, and I'm not sure if we're back to the scoreboard again being a little bit off. They're showing 2-1 on our cameras, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains now, I've got it at 3-2, but the scoreboard's got it at 2-2. So we'll see what this has in a moment. Most home runs this season by major league teams, the Blue Jays have 217. That's not surprising because that is a homer-happy park, and they have some boppers in that lineup. But San Francisco's got 212. Only the Atlanta Braves are behind them. Imagine if Atlanta still had Ronald Acuna Jr. in their lineup, or even Marcell Ozuna. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, so we must have missed something there. That is 3-2 now to Longoria. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Longoria waits on the Raider Effross. Here comes the payoff pitch. Effross kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track to make the grab is Rivas. He makes the catch. Tagging from third and scoring is going to be Casali. That is the 14th run across the plate for the Giants here in their 8th inning. And Longoria has a sacrifice fly to 7 with an RBI, and that is going to make the score 14-3 in favor of the Giants. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Mike Yastrzemski. For Yastrzemski today, he is 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th. He struck out and flown out to left. He also received an intentional walk. He scored a couple of times. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's been a tough afternoon for Chicago Cub pitching. 11 walks on the day. Here comes the 1-0 from Efros. There's a fastball, and that misses inside. The count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes. We're here in the top of the 8th inning. There's the pitch from Efros. It is taken for a called strike. The count now is 2 balls and 1 strike to Yastrzemski. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Efros goes back to work. He delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded ball foul off the first base dugout, the facing of the first base dugout. And the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scheduled to bat for the Giants next is the pitcher Caleb Bergar. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. That is going to retire Yastrzemski on strikes for the 2nd time today, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Giants in their half of the 8th inning, they had 2 runs. There was no hits. There was no errors, and 2 runners left on the board. We are moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Chicago Cubs are trailing the San Francisco Giants 14-3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the 8th inning. We're glad you're sticking around with us. Hold tight. Here's our friend
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is the Chicago Cubs trailing the San Francisco Giants 14-3, and we're glad you're able to stick around with us. Coming up in the batting order, it is supposed to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. The way we would have it is it would be Frank Schwindel, Austin Romine. Then we had the pitcher spot, so we're going to have to see what kind of changes are in the works. We'll see where we're at with that in just a moment. It's supposed to be Efros, but it looks like it is going to be Robinson Chirinos, who was in at second base in the last inning. So Chirinos is going to be hitting 3rd in the inning here. Schwindel today is 2 for 3. He's got a double, a single. He has scored a run, and he's grounded to the shortstop. So we're ready to get back to the live action. And the first pitch from Bergar is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Schwindel. Schwindel's got 4 hits in this series. He's 2 for 3 today, and he was 2 for 3 yesterday. And he swings at a fastball and fouls it away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Schwindel getting an opportunity to play every day. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded through the hole on the right side, and Schwindel is aboard for the 3rd time today. His hot hitting continues as he's now 5 for 7 in the series. been able to yank his season batting average up to 344. They've got no one even close to him now, and he's feeling pretty good about himself, that's for sure. He's in a zone, and here comes the pitch from Beauregard. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into right field. It's going to get down in front of Wade Jr. And Austin Romine has himself a base hit single. So back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Cubs. It's going to bring up the catcher, or the second baseman, Robinson Chirinos. Hard to say. I always think of Chirinos as a catcher. I'll have to look and see if he has had any time in his years any time at second base. So Chirinos batting from the right side. He's got a 233 season average. He's got 4 homers and 12 RBIs. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. If I go back and look at his defensive time in his career, this is only the second time that he has played second base. And he played for a third of an inning. And there is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to short. Estrada makes a nice play over to second for 1. Back to first, and that is going to be a double play. A really nice play by Estrada. He had the range to his left, field the ball, made a nice throw over to the second baseman covering the bag, and that was LaStella, and LaStella throws over to first, and that is going to retire 2 for the price of 1 here in the 8th inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Patrick Wisdom. First pitch to Wisdom is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Wisdom's grounded into a double play, and he struck out twice. His last at bat, he fouled the pitch off, and he fouled it up into his helmet. He takes a pitch outside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Wisdom digs in at the plate. Gets himself ready to go back into the action, and we're having ourselves some technical difficulties on a couple of fronts, and maybe it's the difficulties that the Cubs are having. It's translating into all the rest of the stuff as well. We're experiencing our difficulties at this end here. Hopefully we can continue on. We picked the feedback up, and I think we're a little bit on the delayed end, and the pitch from Beauregard 2-0 is swung on and missed by Wisdom, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Always seems to be the way sometimes when you when you get that, it's everything's going south. And so here we go. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beauregard gets the sign for inning, so they had 2 hitters and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 8 in Chicago. It's San Francisco leading 14-3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. The call of the 9th inning. We're glad you're with us.
Hey guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVOGS 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones, the creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back here in the top of the ninth inning, and we're a little bit delayed and behind. Caleb Bergar was into hit for himself, and 3 pitches, and he's retired on strikes. He has gone for out number 1, and that is going to bring up the second baseman, Tommy LaStella. So Bergar, who hits for himself here in the ninth, is retired on 3 pitches, and that's going to bring up Tommy LaStella. LaStella is got 5 plate appearances today. He is 2 for 5. He's got a homer and 5 runs batted in. And he pitches a fastball, and that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. LaStella today singled home a pair of runs in the second and then hit his 3-run blast in the 5th inning. He's raised his season average up to 236. And here is the pitch. It's a changeup taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Stella digs in on the left side, and Efros goes back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. Waiting his turn on deck is Brandon Belt. So 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Efros. It is a fastball swung on. It's lifted into left center field. That ball is going to get up the gap and all the way to the wall. It's played off the wall by Ortega. He throws it into second base, but getting in standing up is going to be LaStella. He is aboard with a 1-out double here in the 9th inning, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Brandon Belt. So Belt today is 2 for 4. He's got himself 3 RBIs. Doubled in the first. He homered in the 2nd inning. He also walked and scored a run in the 8th, and around that he has struck out a couple of times. He's having himself a fine series this weekend. He is 4 for 7. And he's walked 3 times. So here comes the first pitch from Efros. It's a fastball at Rula had come in and hit him. I'm not sure where it hit him. It must have grazed his jersey. But Belt is aboard on a hit by pitch. We're going to have a look at that again. He really had to pull in, and that's exactly what happened. As he was getting out of the way, it hit his jersey. So he is aboard with a hit by pitch. If you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's how you want to get hit. So on top of the 11 walks in the ball game, now throw on a hit batter. That's going to bring up Kurt Caselli to the plate. And the first pitch to Caselli is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Caselli will be followed by the right fielder, Lamont Wade Jr. Efrons checks the runner at second. He delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses well outside. The count is 1-1. So 1-1 to Caselli. Caselli's only had one plate appearance so far today. He walked his last time up, but he did score a run. So here we go. It is 1-1. Efros delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted down the right field line, but it's going to reach the seats. And the youngster who's brought his glove to the game has made the catch. He gets a round of applause from a bunch of fans, including the Giant fans who were in attendance. Not much to cheer about today for the Cubs, but those are small victories when a young fan can make a grab down the right field line. He gets a big hug from probably his father. So the count is now 1-2, and we're back to work. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-2. And of course, they're going to be on the phone texting all their friends and family everywhere. The highlight right there brings a big smile to that boy's face. So 2-2. Here comes the pitch from Efros. It's a fastball that misses in, and the count now runs 3-2. Twice today, the Cubs have walked in the bases loaded. Right now, there's only runners on first and second, but one pitch away from loading the bases again. So 3-2, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Caselli for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Lamont Wade Jr. For Wade Jr., he has struggled today at the plate. He is officially 0 for 4. He's walked and scored a run. He's going to get his opportunity here to get his bat rolling. Here's the first pitch from Efros. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into center field. Moving over to field it is the center fielder Ortega. He fires it in, and the base runners are going to advance a couple of bases. Listella is going to score. Belt is going to go from first to third, and Wade Jr.'s got himself his first hit of the ball game and an RBI. And so now that's going to increase the score to 15-3. So 15-3 is now the score line, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Chris Bryant. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter, as it's going to be Mauricio Dubon is coming in to hit for Bryant. That is the end of the day for the Giants left fielder. Dubon is batting .240 on the season with 5 homers and 22 RBIs. And the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. We were saying about Dubon earlier this year, he is one of 2 players ever born in Nicaragua to make it to the big leagues. The other one was Gerald Young. For some reason, I thought Dennis Martinez was as well. There's a ground ball chopped to third. Wisdom fields it. He throws to first. That is going to retire Dubon on a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. So for the Giants in their half of the 9th inning, they had 1 run. There were 2 hits, there were no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 9th inning at Wrigley Field. It is the Chicago Cubs trailing the San Francisco Giants 15-3. Stick around, everybody. We're going to bring it home for you in just a moment. Thanks for being with us today. And just a reminder, tomorrow we'll be back on again with the Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hopefully you can make it out tomorrow for all the action. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the ninth inning, and it is going to be Alfonso Rivas to begin the order, and then we've got our checkerboard where we have to give you an update on who is coming up to bat. It's going to be Alfonso Rivas to get things going. It'll be Matt Duffy, and then Nick Martini, and it'll be the pitcher's spot, or was the pitcher's spot in the batting order, and it still is again now. It'll be Zach Efros hitting in that fourth spot. I don't think we will see him. I say Zach Efros. That was an actor at some point. Scott Efros is the pitcher. 7 pitchers today used by the Cubs. September 11th, it is a day to honor those who we lost for those grave events back in 2001. The American flag is not flying at its peak, and there is a first pitch fastball that's delivered for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Rivas. Barragar back to work. He delivers. It's a fastball, and that's fouled away, and the count is 1-1. Barragar is beginning his 3rd inning of work. He's been very efficient. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-1. He's looking to pick up a 3-inning save variety here. Barragar rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal down to first, and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. There are some defensive changes as Dubon has gone into center field. Wade Jr. moves to left, and Yastrzemski's in right. There's a ball hit down the left field line. Moving over to the wall is Wade Jr., but he's going to watch it sail into the stands. And now the count is 3-2 to Rivas. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. We will be back on the air later again tonight for the call of the game between the Oryx Buffaloes and the Saitama Cebu Lions as our Japanese coverage continues. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Barragar ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers, and there is a fastball that misses low. And that is going to be ball 4, and Rivas is aboard with a walk. That's going to bring up Danny Duffy, who is 0 for 3 today. He's lined out a couple of times, and he has struck out. He's hitting .260 on the season with 3 homers and 20 RBIs. And the first pitch from Barragar is delivered. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. This game is like the game that won't end, 15-3. But hats off to the Cubs fans who are still sitting there in droves. There's a fastball swung on. It's driven into right field. It's going to get down. Yastrzemski picks it up. Rivas is going to go first to third. So they have now runners on the corners with nobody out, and that's going to bring up Nick Martini to the plate. So good swing by Duffy. That's his first hit of the ball game. He goes to 1 for 4. So Rivas is the runner at third. The runner at first is Duffy. Martini stands in at the plate. There's a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. The pitcher's spot is slated for next. We're going to have to take a look and see what the Cubs still have remaining on their bench. They don't have a whole lot left. In fact, they are out of positional players. Be interesting to see who they send up to hit. And so here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-2 to Martini. I don't know how Efros swings, but I do know they have one of their relievers, Rowan Wick, who was a positional player in the Cardinal organization. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is going to remain at 1-2. Rowan Wick, if you go look up his stats, he hit over 20 home runs in the minor leagues as a positional player when he was with the Cardinals. I believe that was an A ball. So if you're going to put somebody to pinch hit, I would send him up to the plate. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2-2. I don't know how some of the other relievers or other pitchers would swing it. So here's the 2-2 from Beauregard. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's popped up in front of home plate. Caselli races out. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Martini for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the pitcher spot. That's going to be Scott Efros. So the hitter of the game definitely has been Tommy La Stella. He's got 5 RBIs today, and the first pitch to Efros is a fastball upstairs, taken for a ball 1. And Duffy has taken second base on defensive indifference. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. This is the first ever career plate appearance at the big league level for Efros. He takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Here's Efros ready to go back to work again. Here we are. It's 1-1 strike. The pitch is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. Come on, Cubs, fucking roll into a double play or something here. So here's the 1-2 pitch to Efros. And it's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul into the seats on the first base side. The count is 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. And here's the pitch, and it is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving underneath it is Yastrzemski. Tagging at third is Rivas. He's going to score. Duffy also tags and moves up to third. And so a sacrifice fly by the pitcher, Efros. He gets himself an RBI. In his first career plate appearance. He's going to get some high fives in the dugout. Some small victories for the Cubs, and the score is now 15-4. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Rafael Ortega. Ortega today is 1 for 4. He singled and scored a run. Thank everybody for tuning in today. We'll be back on the air again later for the Dirtbag says, we appreciate the hard work. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back on for the NPB. Tomorrow we're going to do our Major League call of the Tigers and the Rays. There's a fastball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. So 1 strikes. There's another pitch that misses, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ortega waits at the plate, and it is delivered by Beauregard. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and it's 2-1. I have to say, appreciate you being here, Dirtbag. It is tough sometimes to call these games, especially when it's a large spread like this. The game has been over since pretty much the 3rd inning. I can only imagine what it's like sometimes in the game with the announcers that got to be there. They can't leave, and nor can I. I've got to stick this one out. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter Ortega. So here comes the 2-2 pitch from Beauregard. He kicks and delivers. Pitch is a fastball and swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 2-2. So Beauregard kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Wade Jr. He's going to make the catch. He's going to put it away, and that is going to do it here in Chicago. The Chicago Cubs take it on the chin to the San Francisco Giants. The final score is 15-4. The final line, the Giants 15 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. The Chicago Cubs had 4-11-0. We appreciate everybody for listening to this Last Rouse Baseball video production. Come on back again and see us tomorrow. We've got the Rays and the Tigers, and later tonight, it'll be the Oryx Buffaloes and the Saitama Cebu Lions. Have a great day, everybody. This is it for Last Rouse Baseball. We'll see you again later. Have a great night.